And good morning and welcome to the University of Iowa softball broadcast on the Iowa Hawkeye Sports Network YouTube channel as we have a third game of the three-game series between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Ohio State Buckeyes here on an Easter Sunday. Wish you a very happy Easter with your families here today. The Hawks and the Buckeyes are going to be squaring off for game number 3. Ohio State took the game yesterday by the score of 6-4. They got off to a very good start with 3 runs at the top of the first inning, would add a run at the top of the second to take a 4-0 lead. Iowa began to chip away at it with 2 in the bottom of the second to make it 4-2. Each team would then be silent in their next 2 at-bats until the top of the 5th inning when Ohio State would add on a run to make it 5-2. Neither team would score in the 6th inning, and in the 7th inning it became a 6-2 game when Ohio State would get that insurance run, and Iowa would come back, though, in the bottom of the 6th inning. They started off with a couple of walks, got an RBI single from Sofia Maras, a sacrifice fly from Sammy Diaz that made it 6-2, and then a strikeout and a flyout would end that game. Game 2 yesterday went to Ohio State by the score of 6-4. Allison Smith picked up the victory. She now 7-2, and Brianna Vasquez took the loss. She at 6-10. In Friday's game, it was a win for Ohio State by the score of 7-3. Silent for the first 2 innings at bats for both of these teams, and then Ohio State would erupt for 2 runs in the 3rd and 3 more in the 4th, getting a 3-run home run from Caitlin Hoffman to make it 5-0. Iowa then would come back and get 2 in the bottom of the 6th inning to make it 5-2, but a 2-run home run by Nikki Carver of Ohio State made it 7-2, and all Iowa could do was get a solo home run from Denali Lecker in the bottom of the 7th inning to make it 7-3. So we head into game number 3 here the next few minutes between the Buckeyes and the Iowa Hawkeyes. Had a chance to speak with head coach Renee Gillespie. As we get set for game number 3 of the 3-game series between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Ohio State Buckeyes on an Easter Sunday, head coach Renee Gillespie standing by, coach. And, I guess it's one of those special days, on an Easter when people come together a little bit more.
Yeah, it's really neat. We do an Easter egg hunt for the girls, had that on Thursday before the weekend series started. And, you got Ohio State walking in with bunny ears on their head, so it's a really neat atmosphere to be able to be celebrating Easter together.
So the girls have brought in some family, have a bunch of family, because they can't go home and enjoy the Easter holiday with their family. Yeah,
we have a lot of parents in this weekend. They're going to be celebrating with our players, and it's just a neat atmosphere. I mean, Easter brings family together. I've got my family coming in to my house later this afternoon, and 3 great nieces that we're doing an Easter egg hunt for. So it's really a neat atmosphere to realize, we're a family on the team, and then be able to have their family on Easter Sunday is wonderful.
Well, with you being away from family for as far away as you were for the longest time in your coaching career, how did that all work out for you when you were doing this, the holidays, whether it was Easter or even a Christmas holiday or whatever? Yeah,
it was tough. It was always the Zoom call or the call on the phone, and now being back in Iowa and being close to a lot of my brothers and sisters and my mom and dad, it's really nice to be able to be here and celebrate the holidays with them. And this is a special one. This Easter, my parents are actually celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary on the 19th. Wow. So we're excited about, we're kind of doing a dual celebration today with Easter and with their anniversary.
That's a lot of years to be spending time together, You think about, you haven't even gone that far in coaching yet.
Right. I mean, I don't know how they stuck it together, and, it's something that's really neat to see, because not very many families have parents that have stuck together that long. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. So happy anniversary to my mom and dad.
So the Easter egg hunt with the Iowa softball team this morning, just kind of a break of the monotony of things?
Yeah, we actually had it on Thursday after our practice, and of course we have 4 fields out here, so there were Easter eggs everywhere, and so I think they got a little conditioning in along with their Easter egg hunt, but they had a blast doing it.
The rewards in those Easter eggs when they found them?
Oh, there were a lot of really sweet rewards.
Like chocolates, yes. And things like that?
Yes, a lot of sweet rewards.
Well, let's hope that carries over into game number 3 today. This team's been fighting hard Friday night, and then yesterday coming up short, with the 2 runs at the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, it's it's just keeping that fight in them and getting that fight early on. You see us coming back always in the 5th, 6th, 7th inning and getting some fire to come back, but we're always trying to come back from a huge deficit. So today we're working on just getting out aggressive on the first inning, making sure that we're holding them down and make this a competitive game today.
It's interesting, when I got here today, you can still see the enthusiasm, in the body language of this Iowa softball team.
Yeah, they're hungry now. We had a nice talk. We did a little meditation before the games began for them to focus on what they need to improve on, and I think they're ready. They're excited about this, and it's a great way to be able to celebrate Easter.
All right, best of luck to you.
Thank you, Jerry.
That is head coach Renee Gillespie as we work our way into game number 3 of this 3-game series between the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Coming up here shortly, here's the lineup for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Before we get to Ohio State, Briley Klosterman will lead it off for the Hawks, as she's done throughout this entire season. Playing center field in the sophomore, Nia Carter will be batting second. Playing right field, the junior, Denali Lecker will be in the designated player role today, batting third. Kalena Burns, the junior, playing first base, batting fourth. Tristan Doster will be behind the plate again today, and she is moving down to the lineup a little bit, batting fifth today. She had been around the number 3 spot, but she is batting fifth today. Sophia Morris will be at shortstop, batting sixth today. Amber DeSena, the sophomore, at third base, has a really good glove at third base. Got to be getting to get heated up at the plate, too. She's the 7th hitter in the lineup for the Hawks today. Maggie Vasa will be playing second base today. Maggie, a freshman out of Omaha, Papillon High School in Omaha, hit a home run in the Nebraska game last Tuesday. She's playing second base and batting 8th. And Riley Sheehy will be batting 9th and playing left field today for the Hawks, the senior. And Devin Greer will be in the circle for the Hawks. She'll be making her start. We'll give you her numbers here as the Ohio State Buckeyes will begin to come to the plate to bat against her. But for Devin, it will be her 5th start of the season, getting stronger and better with each experience out in that circle, as I talked to head coach Rick Dillinger about it yesterday. So Devin Greer will be in the circle today. Lexi Hanley, the left-hander, the long, lanky graduate student from Auburn University, will be in the circle for Ohio State today. She won Friday's game, and she really has a lot of stamina about her to be able to pitch entire games. Let's go to public address announcer Kelly Neff, and we'll have our national anthem.
Our strength and conditioning coach is Ashley Clemens. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please remove your hats. Rise as we honor America and those who protect it. Performing our national anthem is Aaron Bolden.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Aaron Bolden. Let's play ball.
Getting you started with the national anthem here today at Bob Pearl Field as we get ready for Iowa and Ohio State softball. 43 degrees is our temperature in Iowa City, with the wind out of the east, southeast today, as they're anticipating precipitation moving in sometime about mid-afternoon today. It's out of the east about 15 miles per hour with a 35 mile A 35-degree wind chill is what we have at this present time. And again, 43 degrees in Iowa City. Devin Greer will be in the circle for the Hawks to begin it as the Hawks take the field for this third and final matchup between the Ohio State Buckeyes. Iowa coming in with a 1-12 Big Ten record and 18-22 overall. Ohio State is 6-5 in the Big Ten, and they are mired in a three-way tie for sixth place with that 6-5 record. Indiana and Penn State also with 6-5 Big Ten records. Devin Greer comes in with her fifth game started. She's pitched 45 innings on this season, 50 hits she's given up, 42 runs, 39 of them have been earned, 27 walks, 22 strikeouts. She has a 6.07 ERA. Only in stat form, means a lot but doesn't mean a whole lot. And she has a 3-4 record coming in. She did suffer the loss in game this week, game number 1 on Friday, in which Iowa lost by 7-3. Facing Melina Wilkeson, freshman left fielder, coming in with a .337 batting average. Here's the first pitch to the right-hander, is up and away to Wilkeson. Wilkeson on the weekend, first 2 games, she's combined 2 for 8 at the plate, the leadoff hitter, and still batting at .337. So the Hawks have done a nice job defensively and pitching-wise against her. Here is the 1-0 that is called strike one, right down the middle of the plate. So a 1-1 count. Overcast, breezy again, with the winds now out of the east. It's blowing right in from right field into home plate, into the press box area. We've been seeing it from left to right. Here is the 1-1 that's outside, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Devin Greer on Friday went 4 innings, gave up 8 hits, 5 runs. They all were earned. She faced 19 batters and threw 54 pitches, of which 40 of them were strikes. Here's the 2-1 to Wilkeson. She'll bat it down the third base line and foul. Amber DeSena at third base, Sophia Morris at short. Today's Maggie Vasa day at second base, Kalena Burns at first. Battery of Devin Greer and Tristan Doster, the freshman out of Fort Dodge. Roddy Sheehy in left, Briley Klosterman in center, Nia Carter in right. Here's the 2-2 from Devin Greer. It's upstairs. So it's a full count on the leadoff hitter, Melina Wilkeson. Has had 1 strikeout on the weekend. Here is the 3-2, one that she'll beat on the ground. Sophia Morris charges in, picks it up, and across the diamond to Kalena Burns for the first out of this at-bat for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And again, yesterday, they got started with 3 runs in the top of the first inning. It started with a ground out by Melina Wilkeson, and then it became 2 consecutive singles and then a 2 RBI triple by Mackenzie Bump. Got them those 3 runs to get a comfortable lead. Now Devin Greer will be facing and getting a base hit as J.C. Ruberti. Hits it out into the right gap. Nice hustle by Rodney Klosterman to come up with it. Out in the right center, she raced to get it from center field. She slid on the ground to get her glove on it. Was able to slide, get up right back up on her feet and make a strike to second base. Not in time to get J.C. Ruberti, but Ruberti with the double. Here in the top of the first inning, she had 300 hitter. She now with her 4th double on the season, her 31st hit. And it brings up Sam Hackenbrack. Hackenbrack 4 for 8 on the weekend already. Takes a swing at a first pitch and misses it. 1 out, top of the first inning. J.C. Ruberti with just popped a double. She's on second base, and the junior Sam Hackenbrack, the designated player at the plate. Here is the 0-1 to her, an off-speed pitch, and she hits out again to right center field. Charging in hard is Brodie Klosterman. She dives for it but cannot come up with the play. Bounces once. Nia Carter will grab it, fire it into the infield, but not before J.C. Ruberti gets to third. And Sam Hackenbrack with a single, so back-to-back base hits by Second and third batters for Ohio State brings up Nikki Carver. Carver batting fourth, the senior, and now head coach Renee Gillespie coming out from the Iowa Hawkeye dugout to talk to this infield. Scoreless, runners at the corners, 1 out. We'll have the next pitch to Nikki Carver coming up.
Have you heard about this new type of television experience from Epson? It's called the Epic Vision Ultra Laser Projection TV. It combines a new type of laser projection technology along with a unique Epson Silverflex screen to produce an epic 120-inch 4K Pro UHD picture that's up to 4 times bigger than a traditional 60-inch TV. There's no better way to watch live sports, and watching Iowa basketball play live on this big, bright TV is simply awesome. If you're a sports fanatic like me, you need to check this new Epson TV out for yourself. Visit Epson.com/TV to learn more.
Back at Bob Pearl Field, the campus of the University of Iowa in Iowa City. 1 out here in Ohio State's top of the first inning. They've got runners at first and third. Devin Greer in the circle looking at Nikki Carver. Carver 1 for 5 in the series. It happens to be a 2-run home run that she hit. Here's one that she takes a good cut at and will miss. So she's down on the count at no balls and 1 strike. Carver with a .322 batting average, 28 hits and 87 at-bats, 2 doubles and 10 home runs on the season. Here's the 0-1 from Devin Greer. Pitch that is off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. So the count even at 1-1 on the senior Nikki Carver. Here's the pitch from Devin Greer, again off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, 43 degrees here in Iowa City with a wind chill at about 35. Winds out of the east. We'll be howling through most of the day today, at least through the better part of this softball game. Carver, the senior first baseman, looks at an off-speed pitch, so that evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hawks did a pretty decent job on Nikki yesterday. She did walk a couple of times, was hit by a pitch. She wasn't able to get the bat on the ball like she did on Friday. Here is the 2-2, one that's down and in, so it creates a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. The home run she hit on Friday happened to be in the top of the 7th inning, scoring Sam Hackenbrack in front of her, a 2-run home run. Full count on the senior, Nikki Carver. Here's the pitch from Devin Greer, up and in on her, so it's ball 4. That'll load up the bases.
Number 1, third baseman Mackenzie Bump.
Mackenzie Bump now comes to the plate. Mackenzie having quite a series at 4 for 8 at the plate, including a triple. She has a couple of RBIs out of that. For Nikki Carver, that is the 8th time that she has drawn a base on balls. Bump comes in with a .371 average, 23 hits, 62 at-bats, and she looks at a pitch that's down and away from her, so it's ball 1. Bump, a sophomore out of Mount Gilead, Ohio. Ahead of the count at 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out, here's the pitch. Out into left field, pushes Riley Sheehy back. It bounces off the very base of the wall. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in. And it's a double off the wall, a 2-run, 2 RBI double for Mackenzie Bump in the opposite field, scoring J.C. Ruberti and Sam Hackenbrack. And in the meantime, Nikki Carver races over to third. And Ohio State now with a 2-0 lead in this top of the first inning. Mackenzie keeping that torrid pace going now, 5 for 9 on the weekend. She has a triple to go with her double. Now she's up to 4 RBIs for the weekend, and her total on the season becomes 13 RBIs. And now we take a look at Cami Kortokrax. And head coach Renee Gillespie going right to the bullpen immediately as Denali Lecker will be coming on here in the top of the first inning, taking over the duties in the circle. Denali pitched yesterday. She threw 2 innings, gave up a hit give up a run that was not earned, walked 1 and struck out 2. She also pitched on Friday 2 innings, gave up 2 hits. She gave up the 2-run home run to Nikki Carver. Those were the 2 earned runs she had. She had 2 strikeouts in that game as well. So the numbers for Denali Lecker. So Denali now pitching, she has started 10 games, 11 games. She's pitched 4 innings this weekend, giving up 3 hits. So she's getting some short time in the circle, just having to pick the right time to make it a certain perfect starting point for her, starting day. But she's in here right now early in this first inning, as Devin Greer having already given up 2 runs. And it brings up Cami Quartercracks with the bases loaded. 1 out. Here's the first pitch to her. It's down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Ohio State off to a good start here in this first inning. Has the freshman shortstop Cami Quartercracks at the plate. 2 for 5 in the series. Here's the 1-0 that now becomes 2 balls and no strikes. Quartercracks had 3 RBIs in yesterday's game and a base hit. Here is the 2-0. That is down and in. 3 balls and no strikes. She had a sacrifice fly in the 7th inning. Got on a fielder's choice, singled back in the first inning of yesterday's game. Ahead in the count at 3 balls and no strikes. Here is the pitch right down the middle, strike 1. Quartercracks knew she was going to be taking that pitch off of Denali Lecker. So a 3-1 count on the freshman shortstop for Ohio State. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker, and it's one that's bounded between DeSena and Sophia Maris. It'll score Nikki Carver from third base, makes it a 3-0 game, and an RBI single for Cami Quartercracks. Meggie Adi now will come to the plate. Adi batting .248, 28 hits and 113 at-bats. 2 for 6 in the series. She got hit by that includes being hit by a pitch to get on base. Runners at the corners. And still just 1 out. In the meantime, Quartercracks will head down to second base with an uncontested stolen base. And for her, that is her second stolen base in 3 attempts. But she had no throw down to try to contest her on that. Here is the pitch out to down the left field line and just out of the reach of Riley Sheehy, but it is foul. So we'll bring up an 0-2 count on Meggie Adi. Adi in game 1, 2 for 3 with a run scored. And in game 2, she was 0 for 4. Here's the next pitch that's fouled into the backstop. So again, 2 for 6 on the series. Meggie Adi, the senior center fielder, the number 7 hitter in the lineup, has teammates at second and third. 3-0 the lead for Ohio State. Here's the pitch right at Kalena Burns. She picks it out of the air on the line drive, and it brings up out number 2. This at bat for Ohio State started with a ground out by Melina Wilkeson, and then it's been consecutive hits, 5 of them in a row, scoring 3 runs. And Taylor Pack now at the left-handed batter's box. 2 for 3 on the series. She's hit a double and a solo home run. Here's the first pitch from Denali Lecker, one that she Tries to check swing, but it's called for going around. Pack with a 208 batting average, 10 hits and 48 at bats. A couple of doubles, a triple, and the one home run that she hit in Friday's game. She's down to the count at no balls and one strike. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker. Off-speed pitch. Down and away, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at second and third. 3 runs in for Ohio State. The number 8 hitter in Taylor Pack, senior catcher. Here's the 1-1 from Denali Lecker. And again, try to check swing, but called for going around far enough. Then it becomes 1 ball and 2 strikes. On Pack. Here comes the 1-2 from Denali Lecker. And it's one that she lifts out to right center field. Making a diving catch is Briley Klosterman, robbing Pack of what would have been an extra base hit. Briley got a great jump off the bat of that ball. Tracked it down, judged it beautifully, dives, and comes up with that catch and the 3rd out. That will end Ohio State here in the top of the first inning, but they do get 3 runs and take a 3-0 lead into the bottom of the first inning, when the Hawks will come to the plate with Bradley Klosterman leading it off when play resumes. This is Iowa Hawkeye softball on the Iowa Hawkeye Sports Radio YouTube channel.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home brokenhearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition. For those who are Iowan through and through, we're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Iowa City Tire and Service is a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Well, a superior play in center field by Bradley Klosterman that ends Ohio State's first at-bat of the day. What could have been an extra base hit and 2 more runs turned into a flyout on the diving catch by Bradley Klosterman and the 3rd out of the inning. So the Hawks come to the plate trailing 3-0. Bradley Klosterman will lead it off for Iowa. She 3 for 6 in the series. 272 batting average, 28 hits, 103 at-bats. Has started and played all 38 games this year. She has 8 doubles and a couple of home runs. To her credit, one of those home runs she hit Friday. Facing Lexi Hanley. And here's one, the first pitch to the right of the second baseman, and he slips out into the outfield. So Bradley Klosterman getting around on Lexi Hanley and getting her 4th hit of the series, and bring up Nia Carter. Lexi Hanley comes in with her 17th game started, 138 innings pitched, 102 hits, 58 runs, 49 of them earned. She has a 2.49 ERA, 60 walks, 175 strikeouts on the season. Again, she's a transfer from Auburn, spent the last 3 years playing for the Tigers. Brings up Nia Carter, batting .419. She also has started and played all 38 games, 49 hits, 117 at-bats, couple of doubles, couple triples. Has 15 RBIs, and with nobody out, has teammate Bradley Klosterman at first base. Here is the 0-1. That becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. She looked to slap it. First and third coming down the line. That would be Mackenzie Bumpet third and Nikki Carver at first. They're already halfway down the line now. Here's Nia Carter looking at a pitch that's up and in on her, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Nikki is 2 for 8 in this series. Still batting at .419. Here's the 2-1 from Alexi Hanley. One that Nikki tried to slap bunt and fouls it into the backstop. So it evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nikki got her 2 hits in the first game of this series. on Friday. Here's the 2-2 from Lexi Hanley. Pitch that gets away from Pack, the catcher, and that allows Bradley Klosterman head down to second base. Takes out the force play on a ground ball to the infield. And with nobody out, Nia Carter. Now the different perspective at this at-bat with the 3-2 count on her. Here's the pitch from Lexi Hanley. One that's on the inside, and it dribbles just past the shortstop for the Ohio State Buckeyes out into the outfield, and then Brodie Klosterman getting the wave home from Renee Gillespie at third base. Slides in. The call is out. There was a high tag. Renee Gillespie now was coming down and talking to the home plate umpire. It was a very high tag. Tagged her up on the shoulder. Did she tag her before Brodie Klosterman got across the plate on the slide? It's a single for Nia Carter. And Brodie Klosterman trying to score from second base. As we get a look at it, it was very close. It was a definite high tag. I think she's across the plate. She makes it. But it's a throw from center field in. And the center fielder, Maggie Oddie, be credited with the assist on the putout. So that's the first out. And on the throw home, Nia Carter goes on to second base. And it brings up Denali Lecker. So already some controversy in this Iowa Hawkeye at bat. Here is the 1-0 to Denali Lecker that is down and in. So it's 2 balls and no strikes on the sophomore. Started as a designated player today and moves into the circle here right away at the top of the first inning after Ohio State scoring some runs. 2-0 pitch. Here's one that she rips down the left field line, and it is foul. Got around on that pitch. Makes it 2 balls and 1 strike. So Denali Lecker 2 for 5 in the series. She has scored a couple of runs, has 1 run batted in. She's walked 3 times, so she's been on base quite a bit. Hawks have had consecutive games of double-digit runners left on base. Here's the 2-1. That's an off-speed pitch that's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. In Friday's game, Lexi Hanley went all 7 innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs, all were earned. She walked 5 batters and struck out 7. She's closing in on 500 career strikeouts. Here is the 2-2 off-speed pitch that Denali gets a hold of and will foul it back behind the backstop over top of the press box here. Hanley has pitched at Akron and 3 years at Auburn before coming home. She's from Ohio. Throw for the Buckeyes here in her transfer year. Here's the 2-2 from Hanley. An off-speed pitch down the right field line and foul. Hawks have had a number of those this weekend as well that are just so very close to being fair. Would turn into extra base hits. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Denali Lecker. Hit a solo home run in Friday's game, bottom of the 7th inning, although it was a 7-3 loss for the Hawks. She's even in the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes to the lanky left-hander, Lexi Hanley. Nia Carter at second, 1 out. Here's the 2-2 from Lexi Hanley. Pitch that's ripped again down the left field line. And well, Denali's getting around on those pitches. She's coming to the plate with the power bat. See if she can't straighten one of those out. Count remains the same at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Lexi Hanley, and it hits her on the left wrist. Up and in on her. You could see the grimace expression that she gave that hit her right on the left wrist. So Denali Lecker hit by a pitch for the 6th time this season will head down to first base. And that'll bring up Kalena Burns, the cleanup hitter for the Hawks, as they take a look at Denali Lecker in that wrist now. She The trainer running out to the first baseline to talk to her. And again, she is the pitcher of record for the Hawkeyes. Haley Down will come in and run for her. Hopefully Denali will be okay to be able to come back out and get back into the circle. Haley Down will be pinch running for her here in the bottom of the first inning. Runners at first and second, and one out. Again, that one out was a single by Nia Carter with Brody Klosterman at second. She raced around third. It was a short single out to center field, and Megiotti with a strike home, but the tag was very high on Brody Klosterman. She may have crossed the plate before the tag was made, but nevertheless, she was called out. Here's Kalena Burns at the plate. Kalena with a .270 average, 24 hits, 89 at bats. Looks at ball 2. Kalena on the weekend 2 for 6, had a hit yesterday. She walked 2 times and struck out once. Ahead on the count of 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0 that's upstairs. So 3 balls and no strikes. And now Taylor Pack will head out to the circle to have a chat with Lexi Hanley. With 1 out, runners at first and second. Haley Bound running for Denali Lecker and Nia Carter at second base. Pack and Hanley conversing in the circle, and Hanley will turn and give some signals out to the outfield about what she's coming up next with pitches. Ohio State leads this game 3-0. We're in the bottom of the first inning. An Easter Sunday Big Ten affair. Of course, that's going all around the country with college softball. Here's the 3-0, and it is ball 4. So, friends, that'll load up the bases. A hit batter, and now a walk to Kalena Burns. And for Kalena, that is the 12th time that she has drawn a base on balls. Bring up Tristan Doster. Doster at 0-5, 0 for 5 in the series. She's struck out a couple of times, has the bases loaded and 1 out, working against Hanley. Here's the first pitch to her that she takes a cut at and misses. Tristan, a .293 hitter. I've seen her batting average dip a little bit below 300. She was .306 yesterday. 22 hits and 75 at bats. Here is the 0-1. Interestingly enough, that earlier this season, and she's had runners bases loaded a couple different times in her at bats. Her first home run of her career, a grand slam home run that she hit against Liberty back in early February. Here is the 0-2 to her, a pitch that she'll foul back behind the backstop. So more than fully capable of changing the complexity of any game. Tristan Doster, she has 5 doubles, a triple, and she is second on the team in home runs with 5. Denali Lecker has 6 and leads the team. No balls and 2 strikes on the freshman catcher. Here's the pitch from Lexi Hanley, and high pitch that Tristan goes after and will strike out. So that's strikeout number 1 for Lexi Hanley. It's the second out of the inning for the Hawks in the bottom of the first. Sophia Morris now will step to the plate. Morris having an admirable weekend. 3 for 5. She was 1 for 1 yesterday. She walked 3 times yesterday. Here's the first pitch to her that is called strike 1 on the outside corner. Bases are full of Hawkeyes. Kalena Burns at first. Haley down at second, running for Denali Lecker, and Nia Carter at third base. Hawks trail at 3-0. It's almost like in a basketball game, that lid is on the hoop and not able to score. That's what's happening to this Iowa Hawkeye softball team. Just unable to push runs across when they have the opportunity. Here is the 0-1 that's called strike 2 on the outside corner. So Sophia Morris quickly down in the count at no balls and 2 strikes against Lexi Hanley. Here's the 0-2. An rise ball that up and away, so it's 1 ball then 2 strikes. 2 outs. 3 on for the Hawks, trailing 3-0. Sophia Morris, the junior from Johnston, at the plate. Now it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Morris, the reigning junior college player of the year a year ago, set a single-season home run record at Des Moines Area Community College, where she came from, with 29. Those same 29 home runs led the junior college nation a year ago. The 2-2 now becomes 3 balls and 2 strikes. So what was once an 0-2 count on Sophia Morris, she's been able to eyeball 3 consecutive pitches that were all non-hittable in balls. And here's the 3-2 from Lexi Hanley, one that she'll dribble to the left side and is picked up by quarter crack. She tosses it over to second base for the force to Caitlin Farley, and the Hawks will end this bottom of the first inning with the bases loaded. We'll go into the top of the second. Ohio State leads the Iowa Hawkeyes 3-0. This is Iowa Hawkeye Softball, the YouTube channel, and Learfield.
Looking for a place to go before and after Hawkeye home games? Make a night of it at Graduate Iowa City Hotel. Take advantage of our in-house Topgolf Swing Suite for a full bar and a menu of American classics, and most importantly, a selection of exciting virtual games from favorites like golf, football, and baseball to more unique options like zombie dodgeball. Call 319-337-4058 for details and reservations at Graduate Iowa City Hotel.
University of Iowa Sports Medicine delivers comprehensive care for competitive and recreational athletes of all ages. Our team of orthopedic surgeons, physicians, and specialists are committed to reducing pain and injury through our advanced training and experience. Same day, next day appointments available, no referral needed. Learn more by visiting uihc.org/sports medicine. Still haven't seen who will be out and pitching for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Denali Lecker was hit by a pitch in her left wrist in her at-bat, and they removed her from the game. She was pinch run for by Haley Down. They took her into the dugout, not sure exactly what the treatment is for her at this time, but nobody is out in the circle for the Hawks at the moment, as the Hawks infield warming up with simulated ground balls and tosses to first base. Sunday afternoon here at Bob Pearl Field, an overcast day with winds out of the east at about 15 miles per hour, anticipating the arrival of precipitation at some point this afternoon. Hopefully the Hawks can get this game in and make it a win, at least salvage a win out of the 3-game series. Ohio State has won the first 2 games. After today, the Hawks will have a breather for a couple of days before they head to Champaign next weekend to square off against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. It'll be a Friday evening game at 5, Saturday at 2, and Sunday game at noon. Next weekend's weather apparently supposed to be much better, although the chance of rain exists, but the temperatures will be in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees, obviously more conducive to outdoor activities and sporting events, of course. But that's next weekend. Iowa finds itself with after today with only 11 games remaining in the regular season, and they're at 1-12 in the Big Ten right now, and in last place. Michigan State and Rutgers both also have only 1 win. Denali Lecker has come into the circle, so she will be throwing for Iowa. Nebraska continues to lead the Big Ten with a 12-0 mark, followed by Northwestern at 10-1 and Illinois at 8-2. After the Illinois series, Iowa will be in Ames to face the Iowa State Cyclones on the 26th for the Corn Cyhawk series, continuing here for the 21-22 academic year. And then Iowa will be at Northwestern the last weekend in April, heading into the 1st of May, and then the Hawks will be hosting Purdue University in the final Big Ten triple games of the season before the Big Ten tournament. That's what Hawks are hoping to make, is that Big Ten tournament. Caitlin Farley now will step into the left-handed batter's box for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Farley 1 for 4 in the series, has scored a run, struck out a couple of times. Here is the 0-1 from Denali Lecker. It bounces across the plate, and it becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. Denali Lecker from Ogden, which is just outside of Ames in the central part of the state of Iowa. Two-time first-team All-State player in the 2A ranks. Pitched and hit her team to the state title 2 summers ago. Here is the 1-1 that becomes 1 ball and 2 strikes. Farley, the number 9 hitter in the lineup for Ohio State, with the Buckeyes leading this game 3-0. Infield is playing in a step all the way around, as is the outfield, actually. Looking for Farley to just try to slap something. Here's the 1-2. Now it's upstairs. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. On the freshman second baseman, Caitlin Farley. Denali Lecker working in a deliberate fashion. Here's one that's dribbled down the right first base line, gets out to right field, but foul. So she remains alive in this at-bat at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Farley's hit was actually in her very first at-bat in the game on Friday. Back in the 3rd inning, she singled and was scored on Sam Hackenbrack's 2 RBI double. Here's the 2-2 that she'll slap hit foul back into the backstop. And since that time, Farley has been quieted. A couple of strikeouts. Count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker, one that's short hopper to Maggie Vasa at second base. Fundamental pickup and on to Kelena Burns at first, and the first out of the top of the 2nd inning. Brings up Melina Wilkeson. Wilkeson grounded out to Sophia Morris at shortstop in her first at bat. Coming into today's game, 2 for 8 in the series, now 2 for 9. And the first pitch is down and in on her, so it's ball 1 to the right-handed hitting Wilkeson. Coming in with a .337 average. Top 6 hitters in the lineup for Ohio State, hitting above 300. Here's the 1-0 from Denali Lecker, one that Wilkeson will lift out, just out into deep short. Sophia Morris can't get to it. Does a nice job to race to get to it, and too far to go for Riley Sheehy out in left field, so it fell between the two of them. And Melina Wilkeson on with a single. That's the 6th hit of the 5th hit of the game for Ohio State. And with 1 out, they've got a runner at first base. And J.C. Ruberti doubled in her first at bat back in the 1st inning. Here is the pitch to her that is upstairs, so it's ball 1. Ruberti would eventually score. She now 3 for 9 in the series with 2 runs scored. Batting .300 coming into today's game. 31 hits now and 101 at bats and 4 doubles. Here is the 1-0 outside. 2 balls and no strikes on the senior right fielder. Sam Hackenbrack is up next. 1 out, 1 runner on. Here's the 2-0 from Denali Lecker. It's a pitch that's hit down the first base right field line and foul. Got around on that pitch just a little bit too much, and she fouls it. Ruberti was the co-player of the week back on the 14th of March. For the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ahead on the count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1, now becomes 3-1, and on the way down to second base, it is Melina Wilkeson. The ball was dropped by Doster, and she quickly picked it up. It made a nice throw to Sophia Morris at second, but not in time to get Wilkeson. Ruberti, co-player of the week. Back on the week of the 14th of March, she had scored 7 runs, had 8 hits, 4 runs batted in on the weekend that they played. And here is the 3-1 that now becomes ball 4.
Number 24. Designated
to Roberti, so she
and
draws a walk. And for Denali, she has runners at first and second. One out, and it brings up Sam Hackenbrack. Singled and scored in her first at bat. Here's the pitch. Called strike one on the inside corner. That's 30 walks in the season issued by Denali Lecker. Here's the 0-1 that's upstairs, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. In the 2 innings she pitched yesterday, she walked a batter, and on Friday, those 2 innings, she did not walk anybody in those 2 innings pitched. Here's the 1-1 from Lecker. Pitch that is down and in. We're going to call a strike on Hackenbrack. The third base umpire says that she swept around across the plate. They appealed down to third base and not out to the umpire between first and second base. So 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Sam Hackenbrack. Runners at first and second, a 3-0 lead for Ohio State. And 1 out. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker. That is on the outside part and fouled down the right field line by Hackenbrack, so she stays alive here. Hackenbrack has been quite hot from the plate. She has 11 home runs on the season. All 11 of them have come in the last 23 games of the 35 that they have played. Here's the 1-2 again from Denali Lecker, one that she hits out to left field. It's up in the air. It is long and gone, and it's a 3-run home run. Got a pitch that was up and in on her. She got it up into the air and watched it drift over the left center field wall for a 3-run home run for Sam Hackenbrack, scoring J.C. Ruberti and Melina Wilkeson in front of her. And that for Hackenbrack is the 12th home run of the season for her, and she has RBIs 35, 36, and 37. She leads the Ohio State Buckeyes in the RBI category. But more importantly, now a 6-0 lead for Ohio State here in the top of the second inning. Still 1 out. Nikki Carver will come to the plate. Hackenbrack now 5 for 9 in the series. Now let me backtrack that. She's a 6 out of 10 in this series. And Nikki Carver comes to the plate, looks at a first pitch strike. No balls and 1 strike, 1 out. Bases are clear. It's Denali Lecker against Nikki Carver. Carver, the cleanup hitter. The first baseman, here's one that just misses her on the inside. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Here is the 1-1 from Denali Lecker, an off-speed pitch just off the plate. Maybe she would get that call from the umpire, but does not. And it becomes 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the 2-1 from the sophomore Denali Lecker to Nikki Carver, a swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Denali Lecker. For Denali, it's the 12th home run that she has allowed this season. Count even at 2-2. On the senior first baseman, Nikki Carver. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker. It's one that she grounds over to Maggie Vasa at second base. And the freshman picks it and on to Kalena Burns at first, and 2 outs now in Ohio State's top of the second inning. Mackenzie Bump will come to the plate. Bump doubled, a 2 RBI double in her first at-bat today back in the first inning. She comes in, she now 5 for 9 in the series with a triple and that double. Here is the first pitch to her. Left-handed sophomore third baseman. Mackenzie Bump from Mount Gilead, Ohio. Down on the count at no balls and a strike. Here is the 0-1 that she'll foul into the Ohio State dugout. Bump singled in the first game of the series. And the triple was in yesterday's first inning, a 2 RBI triple. Here's the 0-2 from Denali Lecker, one that's down and away. That triple scored Sam Hackenbrack and J.C. Ruberti, giving the Ohio State Buckeyes a 3-0 lead in that top of the first inning. They lead it here 6-0. We're in the top of the second. 2 outs, and Mackenzie Bump at the plate with a 1-2 count on her. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker, one that's grounded to Maggie Vasa. Short hops, she picks it up and on to Kalena Burns. So back-to-back assists for Maggie Vasa and putouts by Kalena Burns, but Ohio State with 3 more runs here at the top of the third inning, lead at 6-0 as we head into the bottom of the second inning. It is Ohio State 6 and Iowa 0. This is Iowa Hawkeye softball on the Hawkeye Sports Radio Network YouTube channel.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Well, the University of Iowa rowing team participating in a Sarasota, Florida Big Ten Invitational. A number of events here. The 1 varsity 8 finished 3rd in the morning, and they finished 3rd in the afternoon. The 2 varsity 8 was 2nd in the morning and 4th in the afternoon. The 3 varsity 8, the novice 8, finished 3rd in the morning and 4th in the afternoon. Junior varsity 8, they finished 4th in the morning and 4th in the afternoon. The varsity 4 teams in the morning finished, 1 finished 2nd, and in the afternoon finished 3rd. The 2 varsity 4 finished 2nd in the morning and 3rd in the afternoon, and the 3 varsity 4 finished 2nd in the morning and 1st in the afternoon. I'll give you names of those rowers here shortly. The number of participants is with 8 of them in the kayak at once. A lot of names to get to. I have a chance to broadcast their rowing competition next weekend here outside of Iowa City next Saturday morning. This was down at the Big Ten Invitational, but some big names around the country. Duke, Minnesota, Notre Dame were involved. Tennessee was involved. Virginia, Ohio State, Michigan State, Stanford. Just a few big Division I's to be named. At the plate for the Hawks, it's Amber DeSena. DeSena coming in with a .206 batting average. Here's the 0-2 pitch that she'll foul down the right field line and foul. 14 hits and 68 at bats. 5 doubles to her credit for extra base hits. For Amber DeSena, she is 1 for 5 in the series. Got that base hit yesterday. Hit an RBI single. She has struck out twice and walked once. Here's the 0-2 again that she'll foul out back behind the stadium here at Bob Pearl Field. A thin crowd on hand here today, as you can imagine, with 43 degrees and breezy wind out of the east at 10 to 20 mile per hour. Makes it a cool day if you're going to sit out in it for any length of time. Here's the 0-2 that's down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lexi Hanley in the circle for Ohio State. They lead it 6-0. Nobody out in Iowa's bottom of the second inning. That's Amber DeSena, the number 7 hitter in the lineup. Here is one that she'll lift up into the infield, and a light fly ball taken at second base by Kristen Farley. 1 out in Iowa's bottom of the second inning, and it brings up Maggie Vasa. Now Vasa, just making her second start, hit a home run in the Nebraska series, a solo home run. Here's the first pitch to her. That is Up and away. Now the first home run of her career. Got a nice pitch to hit. Took it out of the ballpark. Up in the count at 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch from Lexi Handley, and Vasa goes after it. Now it's one. She misses it. It's a ball and a strike. So 1-1 on the freshman second baseman, Maggie Vasa. Here is the pitch to her that she takes a cut at and misses. So she's down on the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. She part of teams that were 3-time state champions in high school at Papillon North in Papillon, Nebraska, just outside of Omaha. Here is the 1-2 that's upstairs, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. She highly heralded softball player out of the state of Nebraska from the Omaha Herald newspaper. First team All-State 2 different times. Holds a single season school record for home runs in high school of 19. She was part of the Nebraska Gold Club team that was a premium game fast pitch national champion. So she comes in highly regarded from Nebraska. She's still down on count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last played in that Nebraska game in game number 2. 1 for 2 in that game. She scored a run. It was the home run that she hit, that solo home run. Here's the 2-2 from Lexi Handley, one that she'll foul back behind the press box. She's hanging tough in this at-bat. She has walked a couple of times in her 11 at-bats. This is her 12th at-bat on the season. Has also scored 4 runs, so she's been used as a pinch runner as well. Count even at 2-2. 1 out, and Iowa's bottom of the second inning. Vasa, the number 8 hitter in the lineup. Riley Sheehy is on deck. Here's the 2-2, and a pitch that just bounces across the plate. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Lexi Handley, again, spent the last 3 years at Auburn University before transferring back to Ohio State, her home state of Ohio. She also started at Akron before transferring to Auburn. Here's the 3-2, and a pitch called strike 3 in the outside corner. Maggie thought it was outside and tossed the bat back towards the dugout, and the umpire rings her up on a strikeout. So that is out number 2 here in the bottom of the second inning, the second strikeout of the game for Lexi Handley. She needs 1 more to reach 500 for her career. Riley Sheehy now comes to the plate. Riley, a .250 hitter, at 15 hits in 60 at-bats. Here is the first offering from Handley, one that she'll hit to the right of Farley at second base. Can she wheel and get Sheehy at first? And she does not. She had to run a long ways to her right. She does glove it backhanded-wise and had to stop and fire it over to Nikki Carver. By that time, Riley Sheehy has gotten to first base, and a hit for Riley Sheehy. And for Riley, it makes her 3 for 6 in the series. She has a home run and a double, and that single. Now we get to the top of the order, and it's Bradley Klosterman facing Lexi Handley. Here's one that Klosterman will lift out into shallow left field, and another base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Hawks. It moves Riley Sheehy onto second base. Bradley Klosterman now has 2 hits in 2 at-bats today. They're looking spry for the Hawks right now, even with 2 outs. You got runners at first and second. Then it brings up Nia Carter. Carter singled in her first at-bat back in the first inning, was stranded at third base. Nia now 3 for 9 in the series. .419 batting average, 49 hits, 117 at-bats. A couple of doubles and a couple of triples. She has 15 runs batted in. As a matter of fact, the last single she hit, Bradley Klosterman was at second base like she is. Well, she's on first now, but Roddy was thrown out at the plate. They've been taking photos of that play to make sure that they have it documented, because she actually had slid across the plate before the tag was made. But nevertheless, the officials' call stands. Here is a pitch that's hit right up to the left of quarter camp in center field, and trying to score from second base is Riley Sheehy. Again, the hit was very shallow center field, so quarter cracks, really, not quarter cracks, excuse me, it was the center fielder, Maggie Oddie, scooped and threw it to home, and they had Riley Sheehy gunned down at the plate very easily. So that is out number 3. Nia Carter's at bat goes almost to waste, and the Hawks don't get a run in this inning as well. We're through 2 complete innings, and it is a 6-0 lead for the Ohio State Buckeyes when they come to bat in the top of the 3rd inning.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the number 1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
Home of the Hawkeyes, Finkbine Golf Course and Bumps Restaurant is open for the 2022 golf season, featuring 18 holes of splendid golf at Finkbine, and as well as handcrafted American fare. Stop by today to enjoy quality golf at Finkbine Golf Course and food at Bumps Restaurant. And I know the men's golf team hosting the Hawkeye Invitational yesterday and today after day 1. Team from the University of Kansas leading the way at 10 under 566. Iowa in second place at 2 under 574. Iowa State in 4th place. Ben Siegel of Kansas leading the individual derby at 7 under 138. Actually, he and Garrett Teig from Iowa are tied at 7 under 138. And Iowa's Mac McClear in 5th place at 4 under 142. And the second day going on now, they got started at apparently about 9:45 this morning. A little bit chilly, but they were out there. The course was completely full of golfers when I drove by coming to the softball diamond. And that should be completed here this afternoon at some point. The University of Iowa women's golf team will be at the Big Ten Championships outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania next weekend. So we move into the top of the 3rd inning. Hawks have had some chances to score, just can't get any runs across, can't touch that home plate to add up their runs. Trail at 6-0. Cammie Quartercracks is at the plate in a 1-1 count. Here she rips one down the third base line and foul. She singled in her first at bat. An RBI single, stole second base and was stranded there at the end of the 1st inning. An inning that Ohio State scored 3. They've scored 3 in each of their first 2 at bats and lead at 6-0. Quartercracks is down in the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Facing Denali Lecker. Here's the pitch that she gets up into the air, pushes Brody Klosterman back, drifts over to left field a little bit, makes the catch. And that is out number 1 for Ohio State here in this top of the 3rd. Maggie Oddie steps into the left-handed batter's box. Oddie, 248 hitter. She popped up, hit a line drive to Kalena Burns at first in her first at-bat. 28 hits, 114 at-bats. Here's the first pitch to her. That is down and away, ball 1. She has 8 doubles, a triple, and 4 home runs. Oddie on the weekend came in with at 2 and 6, 2 for 6 from the plate. Now she's 2 for 7. Here is the 1-0. Called strike 1 in the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike on the senior center fielder. She's already assisted in putouts from center to home, getting a couple of runners for the Hawks. Try to score from second base, Brody Klosterman and Riley Sheehy. Here's one that's out to left center field, pushing Brody Klosterman back. It's gone. Maggie Oddie got a pitch out across the plate. She drilled it out into left center field, opposite field, and a solo home run for Maggie Oddie. Second home run of the day for Ohio State. Sam Hackenbrack hit a 3-run home run
Number 6, catcher Taylor Pack.
back in the 2nd inning, and it makes it a 7-0 lead for Ohio State. So for Maggiotti, it is the 5th home run of the season for her, 24th RBI. And it brings up Taylor Pack. Pack flew out to Bridie Klosterman in center field in her last at-bat. She's the number 8 hitter in the lineup. 1 out at Ohio State's top of the 3rd inning. They played a run in each, at least 1 run in each of their first 3 at-bats. Here is the 0-1. Now becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 already here in the 3rd, and 1 out. 1 ball and 1 strike on Taylor Pack, senior catcher. Here's the pitch from Denali Lecker. One that she takes a swing at and misses. Nice pitch by Denali. Drop ball. So she's ahead in the count of the ball and 2 strikes. Here the 1-2 from Denali Lecker, one that is fouled at the plate by Pack. Caitlin Farley, the number 9 hitter, scheduled to bat next. Coming into the series, Ohio State has hit 31 home runs in their last 21 games. I'll make it 33 in their last 22 games. Down on the count is Pack at 1-2. Here's the pitch that's outside and won't be chased by Taylor Pack at all. Pack 2 for 3 in the series coming in. Has a double and a home run to her credit. Had those 2 hits yesterday. Solo home run back in the 3rd inning of that game. Here's the 2-2 from Denali Lecker. Pitch is down and away. Full count on the senior catcher. Amber DeSena walks over. A little bit of encouragement to Denali Lecker. DeSena, the sophomore 3rd baseman. Sophia Morris at short, junior. Freshman Maggie Vasa playing second base today, and junior Kalena Burns at first. The sophomore Denali Lecker. Here's one out to right center field, pushing Nia Carter back. It'll bounce between her and Briley Klosterman. And it bounces off the wall. Nia retrieves it and gets it back in quickly, but not before Taylor Pack with a double, her 2nd double of the weekend. And she's 1 for 2 today at second base with 1 out. A runner is in for Ohio State, and it brings up Caitlin Farley. Farley, the expected batter. Looks like they're going to pull her off and bring in a pinch hitter. And that hitter for Ohio State is Avery Clark. Avery Clark will pick up a bat and pinch hit for Caitlin Farley here in the top of the 3rd inning. Avery Clark now appearing in her 29th game. She has started 14 on the season. She has a 241 batting average, 14 hits and 58 at-bats, a couple of doubles and a couple of home runs, 9 runs batted in. Has teammate Taylor Pack at second base. 1 out. Here's the first pitch from Denali Lecker. And Clark will swing at it and miss. Avery, a junior from Prospect, Ohio. She's hitting in the number 9 spot here for Caitlin Farley. Farley had grounded out to Maggie Vasa in her first at-bat. Here is the 0-1 from Denali Lecker. Pitch hits that inside corner, strike 2. See if the Hawks can get out of this inning right here and get back to the plate. Trail 7-0. 0-2 on pinch hitter Avery Clark. Here is the 0-2 from Denali Lecker. A pitch that she swings at and fouls it right at the plate. So when the Hawks come back to the plate, Denali Lecker will be there. She was last hit by a pitch in her at-bat. Caused her to be removed from the game, and they got that treatment taken care of. Here is the 0-2 that's fouled back behind the press box. So no balls and 2 strikes. And the tradition continues. Waking up the Bovine outside the stadium. And here's one that's hit right at Sophia Morris. A hot shot that she's able to glove right where she was standing. And across the diamond to Kalena Burns for the out. Second out of the inning. Taylor Pack will remain at second base, and Melina Wilkeson now steps to the plate. She singled and scored in their last at-bat. Part of that 3-run scoring second inning. Freshman left fielder working against Denali Lecker. Here is the pitch from Denali. It's an off-speed pitch, a bouncer right to Sophia Morris. A couple of high hops, and she does play it nicely. Across the diamond to Kalena Burns, and back-to-back assists by Sophia Morris to Kalena Burns. But Ohio State does get one more run. A solo home run by Maggie Oddie takes a 7-0 lead as we head into the bottom of the third inning. And it'll be Denali Lecker when play continues. You're listening to Iowa Hawkeye Softball, Hawkeye Radio Sports Radio Network YouTube channel in Learfield.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa.
Iowa baseball has won the first 2 games of the series against the Minnesota Gophers, winning yesterday 2-1 to move their record at 19-12 and 5-3 in the Big Ten, and stay within reaching distance of Rutgers, which is now at 9-1 in the Big Ten. Game 3 between the Hawks and Minnesota is underway now from Dwayne Banks Stadium. Iowa Minnesota baseball. The Hawkeyes will be hosting Bradley on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. If you're looking ahead for the baseball schedule the Hawkeyes have coming up to try to make a game. 7-0 the lead for Ohio State. Lexi Hanley in the circle for them right now. She went the distance in Friday's game. She's doing the same here for sure at 6'1", lanky left-hander. Good movement on her pitches. Good solid velocity. Here's one that Denali Lecker on the first pitch will lift up into the very shallow right field, taken by the second baseman, Caitlin Farley. And one pitch and one out for the Hawks here in the bottom of the third. Kalena Burns now will step to the right-handed batter's box. Kalena walked in her first at-bat. Batting .270 coming into the game, 24 of 89, 3 doubles, a triple, and 3 home runs. Here's the first pitch from Hanley. One that's called strike 1 on the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike on the junior. Kalena Burns out of Corona, California. Here's the 0-1 from Lexi Hanley, a dribbler to third base, and across the diamond to Nikki Carver. Nice play by Mackenzie Bump. 2 gone in Iowa's bottom of the third. Brings up Tristan Doster. The number 5 hitter in the lineup struck out in her first at-bat. Doster batting .286 coming into the game. 22 hits now and 78 at-bats. 5 doubles, a triple, and 5 home runs. Had the bases loaded in her last at-bat. Unable to put the ball in play. Here is the first pitch to her that's called strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on the freshman catcher, Tristan Doster out of Fort Dodge. Here is the 0-1 from Hanley. Pitch that's upstairs. Doster leaves it alone. 0 for 3 yesterday, 0 for 2 on Friday. 0 for 2 in the first game of the Nebraska doubleheader on Tuesday. Hasn't had a hit since game 2 of the Minnesota series. That's 5 games ago. Here's one that's dribbled right to first base. Nikki Carver picks it, steps on first, and 3 up, 3 down for the Hawks. We played 3, and it's Ohio State 7 and Iowa 0.
Have you heard about this new type of television experience from Epson? It's called the Epic Vision Ultra Laser Projection TV. It combines a new type of laser projection technology along with a unique Epson Silverflex screen to produce an epic 120-inch 4K Pro UHD picture that's up to 4 times bigger than a traditional 60-inch TV. There's no better way to watch live sports, and watching Iowa basketball play live on this big bright TV is simply awesome. If you're a sports fanatic like me, you need to check this new Epson TV out for yourself. Visit Epson.com/TV to learn more.
I want to congratulate Adeline Kenlin, who finished second in the overall on the balance beam at the NCAA Gymnastics Championships in Fort Worth, Texas. She competed this past Thursday evening. Her score of 9.950 is the highest the highest score on the balance beam in University of Iowa history at the NCAAs. She finished second to Olympic gold medalist Sunny Lee, who had a 9.965. And again, Adeline's with 9.950, so they were very, very close. Adeline, a second-team All-Big Ten honoree this past season, second in the NCAA's overall on the balance beam. So we head into the top of the fourth inning, and it'll be J.C. Ruberti. She's walked and singled, scored both times after being on base. Chased home by a home run on her last at-bat by Sam Hackenbrack. And after stroking a double in her first at-bat, was hit home by Mackenzie Bump. Ohio State leads at 7-0. And Ruberti, the number 2 hitter in the lineup. Here's the first pitch from Denali Lecker, and it's one that's outside corner, strike one. Ruberti batting .300 coming into the game. 2 for 8 coming into the game. She now is 2 for 9. Here's the 0-1 from Denali Lecker. Pitch that's outside. Ball 1 ball and 1 strike. We're into the top of the fourth inning. Ohio State has scored in each of their first 3 at-bats. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and 1 in the third. Lead at 7-0. Here's the 1-1 from Denali Lecker. A pitch that fouled at the plate, bounces off of Ruberti and hit her in the instep. Trying to walk that pain off. As I mentioned, Ruberti was a co-player of the week back on the 14th of March. Here now is the 1-2 from Denali Lecker. And the pitch fouled back into the backstop. In that week of play, she had 8 hits, scored 7 runs, 4 runs batted in on that weekend. Had at least 1 hit, 1 run, and 1 RBI in 3 of the 4 games, and had 3 hit outings against Stony Brook and Army West Point. She now evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in top of the fourth inning, just underway in the fourth. J.C. Ruberti, senior right fielder, at the plate. They've been very productive at the top end of their batting order. Here's one that she'll rip down the first base line, and first base coach didn't know what to do. She didn't know whether to dance or jump, and she did a combination of both. Still almost got hit. Yeah, they've had from Ruberti, Hackenbrack, Nikki Carver runs scored in each of their first 3 at-bats. Ruberti and Hackenbrack both have scored twice. Here's the 2-2 from Denali Lecker, a pitch that Ruberti will just lightly swing at and tap it back into the backstop. Remains alive in this at-bat. Ruberti, a .300 hitter, now with 31 hits and 101 at-bats. She doubled in her first at-bat. She has 4 of them on the season. 2 triples and 2 home runs. Here's the 2-2 from Denali Lecker out into right center field. Going to push Brody Klosterman back to the wall. She retrieves it and cruising into second base with a double. J.C. Ruberti, her second double of the day, her 5th of the season. And with nobody out, she stands at second base, and it brings up Sam Hackenbrack. Hackenbrack homered in her last at-bat, a 3-run home run. She singled in her first at-bat and scored. 2 for 2 in the day. She's 25 of 64 in the season. They're going to raise that .371 batting average for the end of this day. Here's the first pitch from Denali Lecker. And it's one that's down and in. Bounces in front of Tristan Doster. And alertly on the move is Ruberti. Going to third, it bounced so far out in front of home that she got to third before Doster could even get to the ball. So with nobody out, J.C. Ruberti at third base. Sam Hackenbrack at the plate with a 1-0 count on her. Here is the 1-0 from Denali Lecker, a pitch that Hackenbrack gets after and rips it down the third base line and foul. So the count evens up at 1-1. Hackenbrack's home run that she hit was her 12th of the season, but she's hit all 12 of them in the last 22 games of 35 played. Here is one that she'll lift up, and it'll carry back behind the backstop and bounce right on top of the press box. And the count remains the same at a ball and 2 strikes. Here's Denali getting the pitch signed from the dugout. Here's the windup and the release, and it's a pitch that Hackenbrack belts down the left field line and well foul and out. But the count remains the same at a ball and 2 strikes. They got some hitters on this softball team. Here now is the 1-2 again from Denali Lecker. It's a ground ball down the third base line, and it also is foul. So Ohio State has hit five home runs this weekend, giving them a total of 39 as a team for the season. They're 8th in the Big Ten. Here's one that's lifted just outside of second base. Behind first is Maggie Vasa making the catch. That's a big out, folks. Hackenbrack, very tough out.
Number 8, first baseman Nikki Carver.
The way she can use that bat. So 1 gone in Ohio State's top of the 4th. It'll bring up Nikki Carver. Carver grounded out to Vasa in her last at-bat and walked and scored back in the first inning, part of that 3-run first for Ohio State. They lead it 7-0. We're in the top of the 4th. Here is the first pitch to Carver, and it's called strike 1. Carver popped a couple home runs in their non-conference game earlier this week against Toledo. She now has over 100 career RBIs. Here's the 0-1-2, a pitch that she hits. It'll drop out into left center field just in front of Riley Sheehy. And it'll score J.C. Ruberti from third base.
Number 1, third baseman Mackenzie Bump.
Just every little hit bouncing at the right place, going well for Ohio State. Hawks just can't get to some of those, keeping them in front of them, but it still becomes a base hit and an RBI single, and now it's 8-0 Ohio State. Carver at first base. I don't know that they're going to pinch run for her or not. I think that's kind of what they're deciding here. At the plate will be Mackenzie Bump when play resumes. And they're going to pinch run for Nikki Carver. Coming in for her is Lindsey Potter.
First base number 11, Lindsey Potter.
Potter has pinch run already in this weekend. This will be the 3rd time she has scored a run. She at first base here in the top of the 4th inning. And it's Mackenzie Bump at the plate. Bump grounded out to Vashi in her last at-bat to end the 2nd inning. She had a 2 RBI double in her first at-bat. 1 for 2 in the day. Makes her 5 for 10 on the weekend. Here's the 0-1. Now becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. On the sophomore third baseman, Mackenzie Bump. In the Michigan State series, she blasted a couple of home runs in the opening game. Her only 2 home runs of the season. Here is the 1-1 to her that she swings at and misses, so she's down on the count at a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on the sophomore third baseman, Mackenzie Bump, the left-handed hitting Bump. Looking at Denali Lecker. Here's the 1-2 from Lecker. Pitch that's right back to her just outside of the glove. Nice play by Maggie Vasha to scoop it as she had to go to her right and just touch second base. She was so close to it to get the force on Lindsey Potter for out number 2. And at first base is Mackenzie Bump on a fielder's choice. It brings up Cammie Quartercracks, who has singled. And okay, we're going to pinch hitter now for Cammie Quartercracks. And that is Kirsten Eppley.
Batting for Cammie Quartercracks, number 15, Kirsten Eppley.
So Eppley has pinch hit in this weekend already. It was back in Friday's game. She did. Actually, she pinch ran. And comes the first pitch from Denali Lecker. And it's a pitch that's down and in, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. Eppley making her 13th appearance, her 5th appearance at the plate. She does have 1 hit. She a sophomore from Strongsville, Ohio. Here's the 1-0 that she hits out to left field over the top of Riley Sheehy and gone over the left field wall. Got a pitch to hit and a line drive, and Eppley blasts her first home run of the season. And looking back to last year, did not have a home run, so it's the first home run of her career. And this happens to be a 2-run home run in a pinch hitting role. And it makes it 10-0 Ohio State. That's 3 runs here in the top of the 4th inning. She got a pitch to hit, went with it, and drilled it over the left field wall. And it gives Ohio State the 10-0 lead as they now are looking to do some more substituting here, it looks like. Maybe pinch hitting. Scheduled to hit is Maggie Oddie, the senior center fielder. We'll see if she is going to be grabbing the bat and getting into the... So it'll be another pinch hitter. This for Maggie Oddie. This is Reagan Milliken. Reagan Milliken will be pinch hitting.
Number 16, Reagan Milliken.
We're in the top of the 4th inning, and Ohio State already leading 10-0. And Reagan Milliken will be making her first appearance for the weekend. It'll be her 2nd at-bat of the season. Milliken, a freshman from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Looks at a pitch that's up and away. Here's the 1-0 from Denali Lecker. And Reagan Milliken looks at a pitch that's down on strike 1. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Three runs in here in the top of the 4th inning. Bases are clear. And 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Milliken. It's ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. .59 freshman, again from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Here is the 2-0 from Denali Lecker, a pitch that Milliken will take a swing at and miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 3 home runs hit in this game alone for Ohio State. Has propelled them to the 10-0 lead right now. Here is the 2-2 that's fouled back into the backstop. So the count remains the same at 2-2. When the Hawks come to the plate in the bottom of the 4th inning, Sophia Maris will lead it off. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Denali Lecker to Reagan Milliken. It's down and in, so full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and the release from Denali Lecker, a pitch and a foul tip into the catching glove of Tristan Doster, and that will end the Buckeyes here in this top of the 4th inning, but they add 3 more runs to their run total and lead the Hawks by the score of 10-0 heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. This is Iowa Hawkeye softball on the Hawkeye Sports Radio Network, Learfield Channel, and Learfield.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition. For those who are Iowan through and through, we're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Well, that Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series will continue on the 26th of this month, a week from Tuesday, when Iowa travels to Ames to square off against the Iowa State Cyclones. It'll be a 4 o'clock start. I'll have that for you a little bit before the hour of 4 on Tuesday. Iowa Hawkeye football spring practices will end next Saturday as an open practice for you to attend and get a preview of the 2022 Iowa Hawkeye football team. Next Saturday at Kinnick Stadium, about 9:45 is when it'll all kick off. So plan your day around that, or part of your day anyway, at least in the morning, for the Hawkeye football annual spring practice. We head into the bottom of the 4th inning, and the Hawks need some base runners and some runs. Change the current status of this game. They're trailing 10-0. Ohio State has scored in every at-bat. 3 in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the 4th. Sophia Maris. Gonna get a little inspiration from Jimi Hendrix. Purple Haze. To get you jumping. Maris has had a pretty decent series coming in. 3 for 5. And in her first at bat today, she grounded out to shortstop. Hawks just not able to send many players to the plate. Put some pressure on this Ohio State softball team. And so Maris will be at the plate. Had a hit yesterday. She walked 3 times, scored a run. She was 2 for 4 in the opening day on Friday. Was hitless against Nebraska in the first 2 games. Here's the pitch from Lexi Hanley, right up through the center. Does Sophia Maris rip it right over the top of Lexi Hanley. And a first pitch single for Sophia Maris. That'll bring up Amber DeSena as we get closer to the bottom of the order. DeSena, the number 7 hitter. Grace Baines is now stepping into the batter's box for the Iowa Hawkeyes. For Amber DeSena, pinch hitting here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Give you Grace's numbers here shortly. Here's the first pitch from Lexi Hanley, and Grace will go after that first pitch and foul it into the backstop. Grace Burns batting .272, 25 hits. This is her 93rd at bat. 3 doubles, a triple. She's hit 4 home runs on the season. Here's the 0-1 now becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. To the sophomore, Grace Burns, shortstop out of Kansas City, Kansas, and the 1-1 now becomes 2 balls and 1 strike. Hasn't played since game 1 of the Nebraska doubleheader. Seeing her first action here. Has 4 multi-hit games on the season. Here is the 2-1 to her. She'll bounce right back to Lexi Hanley. She looked at second for the force, decided to go to get the for sure out at first base. And it's 1 out in Iowa's bottom of the 4th inning. Maggie Vasha will step to the plate. Maggie struck out on her first at-bat, which was her 12th of the season. Now she's up to her 13th at-bat. Excuse me, her 10th of the season, now the 11th at-bat. She has scored 3 runs. Here's one that she'll pop up into the infield. And Caitlin Farley at second base will glove it. And quickly the Hawks are 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning. Riley Sheehy, senior left fielder, steps to the batter's box, left-hander's batter's box. Singled in her last at-bat, was cut down at the plate, trying to score from second base. On a good throw from Maggie Oddie out in center field. Has teammate Sophia Morris at second base. 2 out. Here's the first pitch to her, and it's called strike 1. No balls and 1 strike on the senior left fielder, Riley Sheehy. Here is the 0-1. It's now 1 ball, 1 strike, and it gets away from the catcher, Taylor Peck. And on to third base goes Sophia Morris. Riley, a .250 hitter, 15 hits, 16 hits in 61 at-bats. Hit the first home run of her career on Friday. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Lexi Handley, a pitch that Sheehy will hit out to left field. Will it get out of play? It just out of the reach of the left fielder, but does get out of play. And the count remains the same at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sheely from Newtown, Pennsylvania. Has hit it safely in 6 of her last 7 games. The number 9 hitter in the lineup. Down on the count at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sophia Morris at third. Here's the pitch that's upstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sheehy a year ago ended the season on a 4-game hitting streak. Had 8 multi-hit games last year. 2 of them were 3-hit ball games. Here's the 2-2 from Hanley. An off-speed pitch that's upstairs again. And it makes a full count out of it. Out of Newtown, Pennsylvania. Just west of Trenton, New Jersey. And northeast of Philadelphia, about an hour. Wear number 33 for the Hawks. Here's the 3-2 from Hanley. When it's right back to Lexi. In her glove, she bobbles it. Able to pick it up and throw out Riley Sheehy at first base. Hawks get a runner on. Can't move her around. But can't get her to cross the plate. And so we go in to the top of the 5th inning. And it's a 10-0 lead for the Ohio State Buckeyes. This is Iowa Hawkeye Softball on the Iowa Hawkeye Sports Radio Network YouTube channel in Learfield.
Looking for a place to go before and after Hawkeye home games? Make a night of it at Graduate Iowa City Hotel. Take advantage of our in-house Topgolf Swing Suite for a full bar and a menu of American classics, and most importantly, a selection of exciting virtual games from favorites like golf, football, and baseball to more unique options like zombie dodgeball. Call 319-337-4058 for details and reservations at Graduate Iowa City Hotel.
Iowa City Tire and Service is a proud supporter of Hawkeye softball. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Iowa City Tire, where service actually comes first. Lots of exciting things happening in men's and women's track and field here at the University of Iowa. Too many events really to talk about, but we can say that Jonah McIver was the Big Ten Male Athlete of the Week last week. He blistered a 44.7 in the 400 last weekend in the Jim Click Shootout in Tucson, the second fastest in the world this year. It is a school record at the University of Iowa. He the NCAA indoor champion in the 400. Then he came back and ran a 43.8 400 split in the 4x4 that the men's 4x4 team won. And on the women's side, LaSarah Hargrove was the women's Big Ten Athlete of the Week. Ran a 22.7 in the 200, which is the second fastest in program history, the sixth fastest in the NCAA this year, and then she ran the opening leg of the 4x1. So congratulations to those two athletes, but that whole track and field program is really on the upswing under Director of Track and Field Athletics, Joey Woody. Taylor Pack steps to the, we got a pinch hitter for her. We'll get her name here to you shortly. She's down to the count at no balls and one strike. Catherine Cerna is in. Here's one out to left field. It'll push Riley Sheehy to her right a little bit. And that's the first out. That was Taylor Heckman batting for Taylor Pack.
Number 14.
And it's a fly out to left field for the first out of the top of the fifth inning. Now the number 9 hitter will be Destiny Norrie. She is pinch hitting for Kaylin Farley. Farley was pinch hit for by Avery Clark back in the third. And Destiny Norrie pinch hitting here in the top of the fifth inning. Norrie, this is just her third at bat on the season. Has no batting average, but obviously getting some time here. Catherine Cerna in the circle for the Hawks. Catherine, a freshman pitcher, 5'10", out of Santa Fe Springs, California, which is in south central Los Angeles. Last got in the circle for the Hawks in a doubleheader against Nebraska, where she pitched a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, and both were earned. And she's down on the count of 3 balls and no strikes to the pinch hitter, Destiny Norrie, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. 10-0 the lead for Ohio State. It's the top of the fifth inning. Here is the 3-0 offering from Cerna, called strike 1. Had to come right down the middle with it. So 3 balls and 1 strike on Destiny Norrie. She is a sophomore from Chula Vista, California. Here is the 3-1. That's down and in, so it's ball 4. So 1 out, a 1-out walk, and now Melina Wilkeson will come to the plate. Looks like we're going to get perhaps a pinch hitter for her. And there is. Pinch hitting for Melina Wilkeson is Tegan Cordelletti.
For the Buckeyes, batting for Melina Wilkeson, number 2, Tegan
Cordelletti has a pinch run in this series. She's pinch run twice, and now she's in getting an at-bat. Cordelletti, this will be her 29th at-bat on the season. She has 9 hits, has a .321 batting average. Has a teammate at first base in Destiny Norrie after just drawing a walk. 1 out. Here's the 1-0 pitch that's hit right at Amber DeSena. Rips a glove off of her hand as she tried to reach out there and snag that line drive. So it'll be a fair ball. It moves Norrie down to second. And the base hit by Melina Wilkinson gives her her second hit of the day. She 2 for 4. And it brings up J.C. Ruberti. Ruberti's slugged a couple of doubles already today. Are we going to get a pinch hitter for her? Yes, we will. So coming into pinch hit for Ruberti is Emily Ruck. Emily came in and pitched yesterday
for the Buckeyes,
in game number 2. Came in and pitched an inning, gave up a hit. She now pinch hitting for J.C. Ruberti. This is going to be the first at bat for Emily Ruck of the season. And the first pitch to her is a ball. Catherine Cerna is in the circle for the Hawks. She in place of Denali Lecker. who had come in Ohio State's top of the first inning for Devin Greer. And it's been all Ohio State in this game. Here's the 1-0. That is check swing. Are they going to appeal it? They'll appeal it down. And, he's going to say no. Well, it looked like she had committed to a swing to me. But it's called ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes on Emily Ruck. Here is the 2-0 from Catherine Cerna. And it's a pitch, off-speed pitch, nice pitch that Ruck will swing at and miss. Ruck is a sophomore from Westerville, Ohio. And she was in yesterday's game placing Allison Smith. Here's the 2-1 that's off the plate, so it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1 on the sophomore, Emily Ruck. Runner at second base. And Destiny Nuri, second and first. As Tegan Cordelletti with a base hit. And now a walk issued to Emily Ruck. Loads up the bases. Sam Hackenbreck, scheduled hitter. She being pinch hit for now by Hannah Bryan. Hannah Bryan will step to the plate and pinch hit for Sam Hackenbreck. Hackenbreck had a 3-run home run and a single and scored in her at-bats and popped up to Maggie Vasa behind first base in her last at-bat. She being pinch hit for now by Hannah Bryan. And she's down on the count of no balls and 1 strike. Hannah started game 1 as catcher. Here's a dribbler to Sophia Mara. They're going to go for home and get the force and do so. Nice play to get Destiny Nori at home on the force play.
Number 8, first baseman
for out number 2. Moves everybody up a position. It puts Emily Ruck at second, Tegan Cordelletti at third, and at first will be Hannah Bryan. As I mentioned, Bryan started game 1 as the catcher. Had 1 official at bat. No result from it. Here is Nikki Carver to the plate with the bases loaded. And swings and misses at the first pitch. No balls and 1 strike to the senior first baseman, Nikki Carver. Here's the 0-1 from Catherine Cerna. Pitch that's upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1. Here's the pitch from Catherine Cerna to Tristan Doster at the plate, an off-speed pitch that's upstairs. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 out in Ohio State's top of the 5th inning. They've got the bases loaded. And the number 4 hitter, Nikki Carver, at the plate. Here is the 2-1. That's now 3 balls and 1 strike. Cerna looking into the dugout to get the pitch from assistant coach Rick Dillinger. Gets it, checks the chart on her wrist. Here's the windup and the release, a pitch that Carver will get around on and dribble it fouled on the third base line. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Full count, 2 outs, bases loaded. Comes down to this from Catherine Cerna, the freshman pitcher. Here it is. Pitch that Carver swings at and misses. And the Hawks get out of that inning. Bases are loaded for Ohio State, but Catherine Cerna able to strike out Nikki Carver to end Ohio State's at-bat in the top of the 5th. We head into the bottom of the 5th inning, and it's the Ohio State Buckeyes leading the Iowa Hawkeyes by the score of 10-0.
In Iowa, we grow corn, a lot of corn. We love seeing our farmers in the fields, and although they're perfect strangers, we know them. We know them by their equipment covered in dust. We know them by their work ethic, where days off don't exist. We know them by the way they wave, passing strangers alike on a 2-lane road. We know them in the midst of our kitchen as we prepare another family meal. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. The Iowa corn farmers are proud to be on the sidelines for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Still 43 degrees here in Iowa City, anticipating precipitation to be moving in at some point this afternoon. Winds out of the east at about 11 miles per hour. Cool wind chill about 38 degrees. As we move into the bottom of the 5th inning, it's a 10-0 lead for the Ohio State Buckeyes on the Hawks in Game 3 of this 3-game series from Bob Pearl Field on the campus of the University of Iowa. Hawks are going to be on the road next weekend at Illinois. 3-game series. Friday's game will start at 5 o'clock.
Number 22, center fielder Bradley Klosterman.
Bradley Klosterman, the top of the order, will lead it off for the Hawks. Hawks got a mountain to climb here. Facing Lexi Handley, the lanky left-handed pitcher for Ohio State, transfer from Auburn, spent 3 years at Auburn. In Iowa baseball news, the Minnesota Gophers leading the Hawks 2-0. That game is has just ended the 2nd inning. They're headed in the top of the 3rd. Iowa has won those first 2 games. Yesterday 2-1 and 9-3 on Friday. Here is the 1-0. It becomes 1 ball and 1 strike. Briley with 2 singles on the day, 2 for 2. Iowa does have 6 hits. Just unable to push any runs across the plate. Here's the 1-1 that she hits out to right field. Goes with the pitch. Bradley Klosterman at 3 for 3 on the day.
Number 14, right fielder Nia Carter.
She continues with a 3-game hitting streak. Had a 3-game hitting streak heading into the Nebraska series. She didn't get a hit in Game 1, but she did get a hit in she had 2 hits in Game 2 of that Nebraska doubleheader. And then she had a hit in Game 1, a solo home run against Ohio State, and 2 hits yesterday. Now she has 3 hits today and is at first base. Nia Carter steps to the left-handed batter's box. Runner at first. Looks to bunt, pulls the bat back, and has a 1 ball and no strike count on her. Hawks need to have a big, long inning at bat here. Here's the 1-0 to Nia out to right field and line drive. It bounces off the glove, and rounding second base is Bradley Klosterman. Rounding first was Nia Carter, but electing to stay at first. So the top 2 hitters for the Hawks in the lineup, numbers 1 and 2, are at first and third. Nobody out, and it brings up Denali Lecker.
Number 5, pitcher Denali Lecker.
Denali is 0 for 1 today. She was hit by a pitch in her first at-bat, stuck at second base when the Hawks had the bases loaded, and she popped up to Caitlin Farley at second in her last at-bat. Here's one that she lifts out to right center field, and it's going back, a deep shot, and it's gone. It's off the scoreboard. Denali Lecker, a dead center field home run, and all Megiotti could do was just look and watch as it hit that scoreboard and bounced back in. So just like that, the Hawks get a 3-run home run from Denali Lecker, her second home run of the weekend. This was a towering shot right to dead center field. Lexi Handley pitching it right down the middle. Denali gets around on it. She's been getting around on a number of pitches, hitting a number of them foul in her at-bats. Well, she closes the gap to a 10-3 game now as we're in the bottom of the 5th inning, and it brings up Kalena Burns. Nice at bat for Denali Lecker. Help herself out. Here is the first pitch to Kalena Burns that's out and away. She grounded out to third base. Mackenzie Bump in her last at-bat walked and was stranded at first base in her first at-bat. 1 ball and no strikes now on Kalena. Here is the 1-0 that Kalena will foul back into the backstop. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Kalena Burns on the weekend, 2 for 6 coming into the game. She now 2 for 7. Here is the 1-1 tour that is off the plate. 2 balls and 1 strike. Hit a solo home run against Nebraska in game 1 of the 14-1 loss for the Hawks. Had a couple of home runs against Minnesota a week ago Friday. 2-run and 3-run home runs. Here is the 2-1 that's down and in. 3 balls and 1 strike. Lexi Hanley had this happen to her on Friday as well. She had pretty much, well, the Hawkeyes had the bases loaded 3 different times on Friday versus Lexi Hanley. And then in the bottom of the 6th inning, Iowa would get a couple of runs. And another one in the bottom of the 7th. But Hanley able to maintain in the circle and bring the Hawks to the end. She's got a full count now on Kalena Burns. Here's the 3-2. Burns will get around on and rip it into the backstop. 10-3. Denali Lecker just hit a 3-run home run, scoring Nia Carter and Bradley Klosterman in front of her. And Kalena Burns with that full count on her. Here the 3-2 from Hanley. One that Kalena will hit up into the infield. Drifting back is first baseman Nikki Carver, playing the wind a little bit and making the catch just inside fair territory in the grass. So that's the first out of the Hawkeyes' bottom of the 5th. It brings up Tristan Doster. Doster 0 for 2 on the day, batting number 5 and catching. Looks like head coach Renee Gillespie going to bring in a pinch hitter for her, and it'll be Anna Henderson. Emma Henderson, will be batting for.
Number 41, Emma Henderson.
Emma will be batting for Tristan Doster. Emma has had a couple of pinch hitting roles already this weekend. Had one yesterday, was 0 for 1. And then on Friday, she came in and pitched an inning. Did not have an official at bat. So she's up in the count at 1 ball and no strikes. Emma Henderson pinch hitting here for Tristan Doster in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's one that she'll foul back. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. On the freshman, Emma Henderson. Freshman out of Battleground, Indiana. Here is the 1-1 that's now 2 balls and 1 strike. Came in and pitched 1 inning of the game on Friday. Gave up a couple of hits, walked a batter, hit a batter. She had 1 official at bat yesterday. Here's one that she hits out into right center field, lifting it high and coming over from right field to make the catch for Ohio State. J.C. Ruberti, unless they've replaced her. So that's out number 2 in Iowa's bottom of the 5th inning. Brings up Sophia Morris. Sophia ripped a single in her last at bat. Ended up at third base. Here is the first pitch to her from Lexi Hanley. It's called strike 1. We're at 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Iowa has plated 3 runs. They trail at 10-3. Denali Lecker with a 3-run home run. And for Denali, her 7th home run of the season, 20, 18, 19, and 20 RBIs. Here is the 0-1 now. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. On the junior, Sophia Morris from Johnston, just north of Des Moines. via Des Moines Area Community College. Here's the 1-1 that's upstairs. Just nearly brushes her. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Sophia, 328 hitter coming into the game today. 1 for 2. 22 of 66 at-bats. Here is the 2-1 to her that's upstairs. 3 balls and 1 strike. And the senior, Lexi Hanley, taking her time between pitches. Here's the 3-1 from her, and it's a pitch that's called strike 2 on Sophia Morris. She started at shortstop. She started every game since back in the Wisconsin series. Here is a pitch that's called ball 4. She heads down to first. A 2-out walk issued to Sophia Morris brings up Grace Baines. Baines came in and stayed in to play third when she pinch hit for Amber DeSena in the last at bat in the bottom of the 4th inning. She bounced one back to Lexi Hanley in her last at bat. Here's the first pitch from Hanley, a pitch that's called strike 1. 3 runs in for the Hawks here in the bottom of the 5th inning. A 3-run home run from Denali Lecker closes the gap to 10-3. Here's the 0-1 from Lexi Hanley. It's a pitch that Grace will bounce right back to Hanley again and over to Nikki Carver, and that will end the Hawks here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But they get 3. The Hawks get 3, make it a 10-3 game heading into the top of the 6th inning. When the Ohio State Buckeyes come to the plate, Mackenzie Bump is the scheduled hitter.
Hi, Hawkeye fans. My name is Denali.
And I'm Briley, and we're members of your Iowa Hawkeye softball team.
Our team is striving to be number 1.
And that's why we trust our vehicles to Iowa City Tire and Service, the #1 automotive shop in Iowa City,
where service actually comes first.
Iowa City Tire and Service, where their customers become friends because they treat you like family. Find them at 410 Kirkwood Avenue or online at ictire.com. Proud sponsors of Hawkeye softball.
University of Iowa Sports Medicine delivers comprehensive care for competitive and recreational athletes of all ages. Our team of orthopedic surgeons, physicians, and specialists are committed to reducing pain and injury through our advanced training and experience. Same-day, next-day appointments available, no referral needed. Learn more by visiting uihc.org/sportsmedicine. Well, the Hawks clubbing away now, chipping away at that 10-0 lead that Ohio State had by scoring 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. We've got to play some solid defense here in the top of the 6th. Get a chance to get back to the bottom of the to the batter's box and add on some more runs. Mackenzie Bump now at the plate for Ohio State. Here's the first pitch from Catherine Cerna, pitch that Bump tries to bunt to get on, and she'll foul it back. Bump reached base on a fielder's choice in her last at-bat and scored. Grounded out to Maggie Vasha in her second at-bat, and then had a 2 RBI double back in the 1st inning as part of that 3-run 1st inning by the Hawks, or by the Buckeyes. 1-0 count. That should be 0-1. Here is the pitch that's up and in. So 2 balls and no strikes on Bump. Now it's 2 balls and 1 strike with the foul ball back behind the third base line. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Here is the 2-1. That's down and away, so it's 3 balls and 1 strike. On the sophomore third baseman, Mackenzie Bump. Here's the pitch from Catherine Cerna, a pitch that's laced down the left field line and foul. So it's a full count now on Mackenzie Bump. Bump, a sophomore from Mount Gilead, Ohio. She was 4 for 8 in the first 2 games of this series. She is 1 for 3 today. And here's a pitch that's called strike 3.
Number 27, shortstop Cammy.
Nice pitch by Catherine Cerner to get her first strikeout. Catherine came in the 5th inning. And promptly pitched the Hawkeyes through a bases-loaded situation in that 5th inning. Not allowed an Ohio State run. Here in the top of the 6th, we got 1 out. And it's Cammy Quartercracks back at the right-handed batter's box. Freshman shortstop was pinch hit for by Kirsten Eppley back in the 4th. Eppley promptly hits a 2-run home run, part of that 3-run 4th inning. Here is the 1-0, and Quartercracks will bounce one down the third base line. It goes foul over the top of Grace Baines. So the count even up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Cerna to Quartercracks, and a pitch that's up and away, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 2-1 from Catherine Cerna. A big swing and rips it down and foul down the left field line as Quartercracks. She remains in this at bat at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2 off speed. She really had Quartercracks out in front of that one. So she was able to hold up and yet still get a cut at it and foul it back into the backstop. Bottom of the 3rd inning at Dwayne Banks Field. It's Minnesota 3, Iowa nothing. Game 3 of the 3-game series. Here is the 2-2 again from Catherine Cerna. An off-speed pitch again. Quartercracks will lift it down the first base line, and hustling after it is Kalena Burns, and making the catch is Kalena Burns. 2 outs in Ohio State's top of the 6th. And it brings up Maggie Oddie. Steps back into the batter's box. Maggie with a solo home run on the day. A strikeout and a pop-up. 1 for 3. Oddie 2 for 6 coming into the game. Has also been hit by a pitch. Here is the first offering from Cerna. And it's called strike 1. Oddie 3 for 9 in the series. Again, that solo home run back in the 3rd inning. Here's the off-speed pitch. He hits out to right field. Coming in to make the play, Nia Carter, and that will bring down the Ohio State Buckeyes here in the top of the 6th inning. Iowa's got to score some more runs. A trail of 10-3 heading into the bottom of the 6th. Maggie Vasa, the scheduled hitter when play resumes. This is Iowa Hawkeye softball.
There's a sense of pride that comes from the life of a farmer. How many people can say they have a famous tan named after them, or be known for their wave when they drive past neighbors and strangers alike on a 2-lane road? Whether it's a farmer's tan or the farmer's wave, we are proud to be known for a lot of things. We feel that pride every night at the dinner table, knowing we feed our family and yours. Iowa Corn is proud to be on the sidelines cheering on the Iowa Hawkeyes. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
Home of the Hawkeyes, Finkbine Golf Course and Bumps Restaurant is open for the 2022 golf season, featuring 18 holes of public golf at Finkbine, as well as handcrafted American fare. Stop by today to enjoy quality golf at Finkbine and delicious food at Bumps Restaurant. And again, the men's Iowa golf team hosting the Hawkeye Invitational this weekend. Kansas was in first, Iowa in second after day one. Ben Siegel and Garrett Teig, Siegel of Kansas, Teig of Iowa, were tied for the individual honors at 7 under par heading into today's round. Probably getting close to concluding here at this point. They're glad they were able to get that in, as well as get this third game in of this 3-game series, knowing that the impending weather doesn't look too promising, but still dry at this point. As we head into the bottom of the 6th inning, Maggie Vasa at the plate has struck out and popped up to Farley at second base. Maggie getting her second start of the season. Here is the pitch. It's up and away, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike on the freshman playing second base today out of Papillon, Nebraska. Here's the 1-1 from Lexi Handley. Handley pitch that Vasa will hit it out to right center field, and boy, she had to play it against that wind. Was the right fielder for Ohio State, J.C. Ruberti, racing all the way to her right, and then she had to hold up and go back to her left a little bit, makes the catch for the first out of this bottom of the 6th inning. Riley Sheehy steps to the left-handed batter's box. She has singled and bounced back to Lexi Handley in the circle. 1 for 2 in the day. Sheehy, a .250 batter coming into the game today. On the weekend, Riley 2 for 5. She now 3 for 7. And she's ahead of the count here at 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the 1-0 from Lexi Handley. That's called strike 1 on the outside corner. One ball and 1 strike on the senior left fielder from Newtown, Pennsylvania. Here's the 1-1 from Handley, one that she'll foul back behind the backstop and press box. Has had a hit in each of the games this weekend. Has hit safely in 5 of her last 7 games. And down to the count of the ball and 2 strikes. Here is the 1-2 that's outside. Sheehy last year had 8 multi-hit games. 2 of them were 3-hit games. Early in the season against Michigan State when it was an entirely Big Ten schedule, and then in the second game of the Northwestern game. Here's one that she'll dribble to third base. Mackenzie Bump across the diamond for the second out of the bottom of the 6th inning.
Number 22, center fielder Briley Klosterman.
To the top of the order we go. Briley Klosterman, 3 for 3 on the day. She has scored a run. Steps to the left-handed batter's box. Hawks trailing 10-3 now in the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs, and it's the top of the order. Here's the first pitch to Briley, called strike 1 on the outside corner. Briley coming into the game at .272. Has improved that batting average with her 3 hits today. She's at 31 hits and 104 at bats. 3 for 6 coming into the game, so she's 6 for 9 at the plate this weekend. And has a 1-1 count on her. 2 outs in Iowa's bottom of the 6th inning. Working against the left-handed Lexi Handley for Ohio State. Here's the 1-1. And Brody will go after and miss. Drop ball that she can't connect with. Iowa and Ohio State last year split the doubleheader. Ohio State won the first game 3-2 behind Allison Smith's 9K. She had a complete game. Nikki Carver had a 2-run home run in that game. Kalena Burns hit a home run for the Hawks. Here's the 1-2 that's down and in. Becomes 2 balls and 2 strikes. And in game 2, Iowa won it 4-3, scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nia Carter with a 2 RBI single to help win that game a year ago. Here's the 2-2 to Briley. It's off the plate, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So a full count on the sophomore center fielder out of North Liberty, prepping at Iowa City Liberty High School. Here's the 3-2 from Lexi Hanley. Pitch that's down and in. Ball 4. Riley Klosterman has been on base all 4 at-bats today for the Hawks and has scored just 1 run. See if they can't chip away at this a little more. Nia Carter comes to the plate. Nia singled and scored in her last at-bat. She was part of that 3-run home run from Denali Lecker back in the bottom of the 5th inning. 2 outs here. Nia at the plate. Here's the pitch from Lexi Hanley. Pitch that Nia tries to bunt it and misses, and it's strike 1. 16 multi-hit games for Nia this year alone. Didn't have a hit in yesterday's game. She had been on a 7-game hitting streak. Here is the 0-1. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. In the 2021 season, she had 13 multi-hit games. One of her multi-hit games this year, it was 5 in a game. It tied a school record for hits in a game with 3 other former Hawkeyes. Christy Hebert, Brandy Messias, 2 of them. And Liz Watkins was the 3rd. Here's the 2-1, ripped out into right field. And around second base goes Brody Klosterman, not being able to play it out there. Brody going around third, and Nia on her way to third base. She'll be given a double, and then it'll be an error. It scores Brody Klosterman all the way from first base. Ripped right to the right of Nikki Carver, out down the right field line. And the right fielder out there, J.C. Ruberti, unable to get the glove on it. Bobbled it, and that allowed Brody Klosterman to round third base and head for home. And Nia Carter from second to third, where she is now with 2 outs, and it's Denali Lecker. Lecker drilled a 3-run home run in her last at-bat against Hanley. Here's the first pitch that she hits out into left center field. Back-to-back hits. Hawks now got some firepower going now, does Iowa. Given a double on that hit. Boy, she hit it solidly out into left center field. That Adi had to chase after. And that was an RBI double for Denali Lecker. So Iowa in business again with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 6th inning to make it a 10-5 ball game. And Kalena Burns at the plate. Denali Lecker will stay in and run at second base. And now it looks as if Allison Smith is going to come in and relieve Lexi Hanley. That's exactly what's happening. Allison Smith will be coming in here in the bottom of the 6th inning to relieve Lexi Hanley. She'll inherit a runner in Denali Lecker at second base. There are 2 outs in Iowa's bottom of the 6th inning. They came in the first 2 at-bats. Maggie Vasa and Riley Sheehy. Since that time, it was a walk to Briley. An RBI double for Nia Carter. And then it was Denali Lecker's RBI double to make it 10-5. Kalena Burns will be facing Allison Smith. In yesterday's game, in which Allison Smith pitched, Iowa Kalena Burns struck out, singled, and walked against Allison Smith. Emily Ruck came in and pitched the 7th inning of that second game yesterday. And Kalena Burns would walk against her. So Burns has a single and a walk against Allison Smith. Here is the First pitch to Kalena Burns from Smith. Smith making her 15th appearance on the season. She did start yesterday's game and went 6 innings. Here's the 1-0 to Burns. Burns will ground it right to Mackenzie Bump at third. Can't handle it. And so Burns will be on first base via an error on Mackenzie Bump. Tried to backhand it right in front of third base, but in fair territory. Once she was able to pick it up, she had no play at second and elected not to throw to first to try to get Kalena Burns, which it wouldn't have happened anyway. So now the Hawks have runners at first and second, and Marissa Peak will step to the plate. Tristan Doster, the scheduled hitter. Emma Henderson came in and pinch hit for her in the last at-bat, flew out to right field. And so Marissa Peak now will come in and pinch hit for Tristan Doster here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Zoe Schulte now on first base, running for Kalena Burns. And at the plate is Marissa Peak. Peak has seen pinch hitting roles in both of these games. She's 0 for 3 in the series. Here is the 1-0 to her. That's 2 balls and no strikes. Peak on the season, a .274 hitter, 20 hits and 73 at-bats, 4 doubles. She's popped a couple of home runs, has 10 runs batted in. Teammates at first and second. Iowa with 2 runs in already. It's a 10-5 ball game. And the 2-0 count. Here's the pitch from Allison Smith. Down and in, 3 balls and no strikes. To the sophomore catcher, she will probably stay in and catch for Tristan Doster. She had a hit in the Nebraska game of Game 2 on Tuesday. Here's the 3-0 to her that is called strike 1. Zoe Schulte at first, running for Kalena Burns. Denali Lecker at second. Lecker just drilled a double, an RBI double. That scored Nia Carter. Here's the 3-1 from Allison Smith. The pitch that Marissa gets around on, it will just get a piece of it, foul it back into the backstop. She remains alive in this at-bat. Hawks coming alive here in the last 2 at-bats. 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th on a 3-run home run from Denali Lecker. Now they have 2 more here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's the 3-2 from Allison Smith. Peak rips one down the left field line and foul. Again, the Hawks getting so close to having some of those line drives hit down the lines be fair. But that's all they are, is just close. 3 balls and 2 strikes on the sophomore Marissa Peak. Here's the pitch from the sophomore Allison Smith. And it's a pitch that Marissa swings at and misses and strikes out. But the Hawks do get 2 more runs. They trail it now by the score of 10-5 as we head into the top of the 7th inning. It'll be Taylor Pack, the scheduled hitter, the number 8 hitter, when play resumes. This is Iowa Hawkeye softball.
Have you heard about this new type of television experience from Epson? It's called the Epic Vision Ultra Laser Projection TV. It combines a new type of laser projection technology along with a unique Epson Silverflex screen to produce an epic 120-inch 4K Pro UHD picture that's up to 4 times bigger than a traditional 60-inch TV. There's no better way to watch live sports, and watching Iowa basketball play live on this big, bright TV is simply awesome. If you're a sports fanatic like me, you need to check this new Epson TV out for yourself. Visit Epson.com/TV to learn more.
Back at Bob Pearl Field on the campus of the University of Iowa in Iowa City. A cool day here in mid-April on Easter Sunday. Hopefully you're having a great Easter Sunday celebration with your family. It's now a 10-5 game. Ohio State began the game 3 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth, make a 10-0 lead. Iowa's been able to shut them down in the last 2 at-bats and score 5 runs themselves, 3 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the bottom of the 6th. That's where we sit now at 10-5, heading into the top of the 6th inning. Top of the 7th inning, and it's Taylor Pack, the scheduled batter, the catcher. She was pinch hit for by Taylor Heckman back in the 5th inning, and Heckman would promptly fly out to Riley Sheehy. But Pack has a double. She also has hit a solo home run in this series yesterday, facing Catherine Cerna. Cerna in her 2nd inning of pitching in this game. First pitch is down and away, so it's ball 1. Update you now on Iowa baseball. Bottom of the 4th inning, Minnesota leads Iowa 3-0. Hawks at the plate with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Here's the 1-0 off-speed pitch. Ooh, that was very, very close. Crossing the plate on the outside part. But the umpire didn't see it that way. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 balls and no strikes to Taylor Pack, senior catcher. Here is the 2-0 that she'll bounce right to Maggie Vasha. Gloves it to Kalena Burns for the first out of the top of the 7th inning. Coming into bat now is Destiny Norrie. She came in and pinch hit in the top of the 5th inning for Avery Clark, for Caitlin Farley. In the top of the 5th inning, and she drew a walk. Oh, now they're going to say that Pack is still has a bat in her hand and just outside of the batter's box. I'm not quite sure what the ruling is on this now. What'd I miss, Sam? What? Oh. So the Hawks failed to re-enter Kalena Burns, and so apparently that gives Taylor Pack another chance at the at-bat. 2-0 count on an off-speed pitch. Wow. Ball 3. That is very good off-speed pitch. Catherine Cerna thinking it crossing the plate, but the umpire sees it differently. So it's 3 balls and no strikes on Taylor Pack, senior catcher. Here's the 3-0, and Pack looks to bunt, pulls it back, and now she draws the walk. So a 1-out walk issued to the number 9 hitter, Destiny Taylor Pack. Well, let me backtrack that. No out walk. Now it's a Destiny Norrie, the number 9 hitter. So Pack had what looked like to be a ground out to second base. Was an error on the Hawks' part of not to re-enter Kalena Burns. So she gets another shot at the at-bat and drew the walk. So now she's on first base with nobody out. And Destiny Norrie, the number 9 hitter in the lineup. Here's an off-speed pitch. Not getting any love from the home plate umpire on those pitches. Not exactly sure what she's not seeing. Are those strikes? It looks to me like the umpire is seeing them high as they come across the plate, and then it drops into plate territory. Nice hot shot to Sophia Morris from Melina Wilkinson. From Norrie. Norrie will get on a fielder's choice at first base, but Sophia Morris able to get the force to Maggie Vasha at second for the first out of this at-bat. That was on Taylor Pack. So now we're at the top of the order. Melina Wilkinson, Tegan Cordelletti at the plate, the left-hander. She came in and pinch hit for Wilkinson in her last at-bat in the top of the 5th inning. and promptly singled, stranded at third base. Part of that bases loaded half inning. Here is the pitch that left-handed. Now we got the pipes chiming and the livestock are moving. 1 ball and 1 strike on Tegan Cordelletti. Here's the 1-1 to her that she'll bounce to the left of Maggie Vasha, picks it up. She had to throw from laying on the ground, so she couldn't get enough on it to get it to Kalena Burns, and the speedy Tegan Cordelletti gets on first base. Base hit, Sam. And that'll move Destiny Nuri to second base. So with 1 out, Ohio State has runners at first and second, and it brings up J.C. Ruberti, who has singled, walked, and doubled. She's walked twice, singled, so she is 2 for 2, has scored 3 runs. Having quite a weekend here in Iowa City. And a 10-5 lead for Ohio State. Now coming in to run for Destiny Nuri is Mariah Rodriguez.
Mariah Rodriguez.
So Mariah Rodriguez going to run for Destiny Nuri at second base, and the first pitch to J.C. Roberti is a ball. So 1 ball and no strikes to J.C. Roberti. Here's the 1-0 from Catherine Cerna, an off-speed pitch that's off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Roberti coming into the game 2 of 8 with a double. And again, she's 2 for 2 today with 2 walks, so she's 4 for 10 in the series. Here's the 2-0 from Cerna. Pitch that hits that outside corner, so it's strike 1. Catherine Cerna, the freshman, in the circle for the Hawks. Freshman from Santa Fe Springs, California, south central Los Angeles. Here's the 2-1 from Cerna, and it's a pitch that's fouled back just above the over top of the press box. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're at 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Ohio State leading the Hawks 10-5. It was 10-0. Iowa has scored 3 in the bottom of the 5th, 2 in the bottom of the 6th to make it 10-5. Here's the 2-2 that's down and away from Roberti. So a big pitch coming up here. What will Cerna elect to throw? Gets the call from the dugout, looking at the chart on her wrist, and now she's asking for time. I saw her negate one of the calls that was headed her way with shaking of her head left and right. Now she steps back and back on the rubber. Here's the pitch in the 3-2 from Roberti, a foul that she'll hit into the backstop. Cerna getting some valuable experience here in this game. Hadn't had much time coming in. Cerna only 2 innings pitched coming into this appearance, so obviously very little to none. Here's the 3-2 again, a pitch that's swung on and missed by Roberti, and that's out number 2 on the strikeout. And it brings up Sam Hackenbrack. Hackenbrack got on in the fielder's choice in the last at-bat. Popped up to Vasa at second base, hit a 3-run home run back in the 2nd inning, and singled and scored back in the 1st inning. Hackenbrack was 4 for 8 coming into the game today. Here is the first pitch to her. It's called strike 1. So she's 6 for 12, batting .500 on the weekend as Hackenbrack, the number 3 hitter in the lineup for Ohio State. has teammates at first and second. 2 gone. Here's the 0-1 from Cerna. Pitch that she gets around on and will foul it off of the Hawkeye dugout fence. And out to Grace Baines, back to Catherine Cerna. No balls and 2 strikes on the junior designated player, Sam Hackenbrack. Here's the pitch from Cerna. Pitch that she swings at and misses. And back-to-back strikeouts will end Ohio State here in the top of the 7th inning. We go into the bottom of the 7th. Iowa needs 5 to extend the game and 6 to win it. Can they do it? We'll see when play resumes. When play does resume, the Hawks will have Sophia Morris at the plate, the number 6 hitter. This is Iowa Hawkeye softball on the Hawkeye Sports Radio Network YouTube channel.
Anything can happen when the Cyclones and Hawkeyes come to compete. It's where the rubber meets the road. Neighbors become rivals and friends become foes. Some go home broken-hearted, while others are victorious. When the dust finally settles, one thing stands true. No matter which side you're on, you're part of tradition. For those who are Iowan through and through, we're Iowa Corn, a proud sponsor of the Iowa Corn Cy-Hawk Series. In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa.
And again, the Iowa Hawkeyes will be on the road next weekend. They'll be at the University of Illinois in Champaign. 5 o'clock game on Friday. Saturday's game is scheduled for 1 o'clock. They have been at 2. Next Saturday's Iowa-Illinois softball game will be at 1 o'clock. And then Sunday's game on the 24th will be at noon. And then as we just heard about the Cy-Hawk Series, the Corn Cy-Hawk Series will continue with Iowa State on Tuesday the 26th in Ames. That'll be a 4 o'clock start I'll have for you. Then Iowa goes to Northwestern for April 29, April 30, and May 1. Northern Iowa on May 4th, which is a Wednesday in Cedar Falls. That's a 5 o'clock start on that Wednesday. And then the Hawks will be home to finish the Big Ten season, the regular season, against the Purdue Boilermakers on May 6, 7, and 8. And hopefully by then, Iowa will know their fate of getting into or not getting into the Big Ten tournament. Hopefully it doesn't come down to that, but maybe it will. And the first batter for the Hawkeyes, as I mentioned, is Sophia Morris. Morris walked in her last at-bat, singled, ended at third, and plate appearance number 2. Singled in her first at-bat. Down on the count at no balls and 1 strike to Allison Smith. Smith, the sophomore pitcher, who a year ago accumulated 12 wins, which is the most by a Big Ten freshman pitcher last year. Had a 12-6 record. Count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's the pitch to Morris, and she looks at a pitch that's down and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Hawks need 5 to tie and extend the game, 6 to win it. They have scored 3 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. They need the combination of the 2 here in the 7th. Here's the pitch, an off-speed pitch that Morris will foul down the third base line. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on the junior. The reigning National Junior College Player of the Year last year out of Des Moines Area Community College. Here's the 2-2 from Allison Smith. Pitch that's hit right at quarter cracks, and that's the first out of this bottom of the 7th inning. Grace Baines now will step into the batter's box.
Number 23, third baseman Grace Baines.
Baines came in a pinch hit in the bottom of the 4th inning. She would bounce back to Lexi Hanley, and her next at bat, her last at bat, bounced back to Lexi Hanley. Now she's facing Allison Smith with 1 out. Here's the first pitch to her that's away. Grace Baines in the number 7 position in the lineup. 208 hitter. 20 now of 98. 4 doubles and a couple of triples. Here is a pitch that she'll hit up out to center field. Maggie Oddie coming in to make the catch. And 2 gone in Iowa's bottom of the 7th inning. Freshman Maggie Vasa. Steps to the right-handed batter's box. Maggie 0 for 3 on the day. A couple of flyouts and a strikeout. Her only hit on the season, got a solo home run against Nebraska last Tuesday. Here's the first pitch from Allison Smith. Basha will take a look at a pitch that's called strike one. So she's down on the count at no balls and one strike. Allison Smith working in the circle. Here's the pitch. The Basha pitch that is called strike two in the outside corner. So quickly down on the count is Maggie Basha, 0-2. 2 outs, and Iowa's bottom of the 7th inning. Here is the 0-2 and a pitch that's upstairs. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's the 1-2 now from Allison Smith. And it's one that's away, so it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Maggie Basha, freshman from Papillon, Nebraska. 2-2 count on her. Here's the pitch. Smith, as she'll lift just over top of second base. Now, and Caitlin Farley will get it, track it down, make the catch, and that will end the Hawks in this bottom of the 7th and end the game at 10-5. What was once a 10-0 game, Iowa would make it a 10-5 game with 2 and 3 in the bottom of the 5th and 2 in the bottom of the 6th, but couldn't get anything in the bottom of the 7th inning. And the Hawks will fall to 1-13 in the Big Ten and 18-23 overall, whereas Ohio State in the sweep of the Hawks go to 7-5 in the Big Ten and 26-10 overall. We'll wait for head coach Renee Gillespie, have a chat with her quickly about this game and set you up for the Illinois games that are coming up next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Champaign. I'll leave the microphone open. You can listen to the activity going on here at Bob Pearl Field.
Please watch your step when exiting the stadium. Be a team player and discard any trash or recycling in proper receptacles. It's a great help to our facilities team. Until next time, please drive home safely and go Hawks!
Okay, folks, it looks like that head coach Renee Gillespie won't be making it up here. She's meeting with parents and players and potential recruits here at the University of Iowa. But the Hawks lose game number 3 to Ohio State by the score of 10-5. Ohio State got things started quickly and early. 3 runs in the first, 3 in the second, 1 in the third, 3 in the fourth to take a 10-0 lead. And then Iowa started cutting into that in the bottom of the 5th inning with 3 runs in the bottom of the 5th. They got 2 more in the bottom of the 6th inning. But that was as close as they could come to toppling Ohio State here in this game number 3 of the 3-game series. And the Hawks lose it by the score of 10-5. They lost yesterday's game 6-4, and Friday night they lost 7-3. Iowa now 18-23 overall, 1-13 in the Big Ten, and Ohio State goes to 26-10 and 7-5 in the Big Ten. That'll wrap up our broadcast here this afternoon. Hopefully you've been able to listen to these games. You enjoyed the broadcast. Unfortunately, the Hawks couldn't win these 3 games. They'll have 3 more chances next week when they head to the University of Illinois in Champaign. And those will be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday games. Friday's game will be at 5 o'clock sharp. I'll be on this channel at a little bit before the hour of 5 o'clock, bringing you Iowa Hawkeye softball. Saturday's game is a 1 o'clock scheduled game, and then Sunday at noon against the Fighting Illini. Iowa and Illinois next weekend from Champaign, Illinois. I'm Jerry Koala. Thanks for tuning in this entire weekend for Iowa Hawkeye softball against the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll talk to you again very soon. It'll be next Friday for the Iowa-Illinois first game of the 3-game series.